Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
That.
All right, Joseph. It is May 22nd. It's already almost
Yeah.
Memorial Day. It is
Yeah.
almost halfway done with the year. What the fuck? Where did time go? I feel like I didn't accomplish anything.
Yep. Yeah, me neither.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, I know I accomplished some things, but I feel like I haven't accomplished enough. And I feel like time's just going by quicker. I don't know if it's because I'm older or that everyone the conspiracy theory is true that they sped up time. And by they you mean I don't know. It's always like years or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
no,
Jewish, so I just want to make everyone aware. So I have nothing to do with the time being sped up, so don't blame me.
it feels like time has moved very quickly. And I'm very it does not feel like it should be May already. But it is. 100% is.
It's over. I mean, it's like it's a 2/3 over already, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know if I can process this. Well, before we get into this, what are we talking about, Joseph?
We're talking about a new show that both of us just started watching, Murderbot.
On Apple.
Yeah, it's on Apple. We're talking about the most recent episode of Last of Us, the penultimate or next to last episode of Handmaid's Tale.
Yep.
Trump's big reconciliation bill.
That fucked up the entire country.
Yeah. His grift from Qatar. The Kristi Noem reality show, which sounds kind of like The Running Man.
It is super dystopian nightmare bullshit.
Bruce Springsteen is in the news. He's got a new album out and he's touring Europe and kind of bad mouthing Trump overseas.
I just love that people like, no, he was a lefty. I'm like,
oh, he's
never been a right winger in any way.
No,
just co-opted his music and because they don't understand his fucking lyrics.
Yeah. Even when the right, I know Reagan, I believe, co-opted "Born in the USA." "Born in the USA" is a very kind of like critical
Working
song.
class.
Well, it's very critical of the USA. I mean, it's about being sent to Vietnam to fight these people you don't know, and then you come back and the factories are all closed.
Well, they just heard the part where he says "Born in the USA."
Yes, yeah.
No one actually listens to the actual lyrics. Just they know the
no, and even the lyrics, like you have to kind of listen to them. It's not like immediate.
I love though unrelated. I go through the list and I'll tell you.
Then we're talking about SCOTUS had a hearing on religious public funding for religious schools out of Oklahoma. That a whole bunch of Democrats have died lately. I like 8 in a row. And then we're gonna talk about
I think
COVID
one of them
shots.
the one who just died was like, wasn't he the one that like people picked over AOC?
Yeah, Jerry Connolly. Yeah.
Like this guy's gonna die like literally any day. He had like stage 4 cancer.
Well, I remember when Congress, when the last election came about, the Republicans had Congress by like 3 seats, and I was like, people pass away all the time. On average, 3 or 4 congresspersons die per year, and I was like, you could see a world in which the Democrats take the House just on a random Tuesday. But what has happened instead is like Democrat after Democrat has dropped dead.
Well, they're all like these elderly people too. Not like
they are, but they're not like they're not like in their 80s or something. It's not like Dianne Feinstein or something.
Extremely sick, and and he should not have been. He should have resigned, or he should have definitely should not have been rewarded that position.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we'll get into that.
Yes. So that's what's on our.
There's
plate.
one more.
The COVID shots. Yeah, I thought I'd said that one. We're talking about the COVID shots.
Trump's government's gonna make sure that no one under 65. They're gonna make it impossible for anyone under 65 to get the COVID shot.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people, and if you're thinking good, I say, why are you listening to this podcast? Because
Yeah, right.
we're
Right.
very pro-vaccine here. Like,
Yeah.
like
Or
we,
at the bare minimum, like pro, you should be able to get a
well,
vaccine.
that
Like
too.
it's
Yes, I think that denying people a life-saving vaccine is
yeah.
really sus, and it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right.
think. Oh, what was his name? This is great. This guy is a great comedian. He says, like, about making fun of like do your own research, and he was talking about like reading, read what's in the COVID vaccine. He's like, why would I?
Yeah. Wait,
Like, I would
wait.
fucking understand it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
talking about like Gorbisol or something like
like I
that.
wouldn't know anything. Like, why would I read this? I'm like,
Yeah.
I will take
That's
this
like
times. Like, I don't.
that's like me hopping on a flight to Miami and asking if I could look under the hood of the plane first. You know, I mean, mind if I
Well,
hit the
I would
it's
say do
like
your own research when idiots say that stuff. It's really just like them saying like, um, I saw a meme with a minion on
yeah.
Facebook that said that vaccines like made people
Right.
autistic and everything was spelled wrong.
Yeah. So
And
anyway,
and how could a peer review study compete with a meme from Facebook?
yeah. It is weird because like you you can so easily find room for doubt. You know what I mean? And like virtually anything. We will talk about that when we hit the vaccine.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
what do you mean? Now finish your sentence because
well,
I feel like we're
like
not going to say it later.
you could like with air travel is incredibly safe. It really is. It's probably
I
the
mean, at the
safest
end of the
for
day, it is. I think
yeah,
actually the most unsafe part of air travel is the smaller prop planes.
yes.
Those are the ones that
So
crash. But your commercial jets,
yeah,
that's very rare. If anything,
generally safe.
most of it happened because of Trump. Trump is
Yeah.
first month of his presidency. Yeah, go ahead.
But
Yeah.
you could make a compelling argument for why flying is very unsafe, you know, and it appeals to the person's emotions and it's
Yeah, because
filled with
the concept is
yeah,
you can't fly. I mean, you can't drive either. You're not an actual car.
right.
But I guess because you walk and you're on the ground, you can comprehend it better, even though
Yeah,
cars are actually not safe. And
much more dangerous.
the chance of you getting killed or hurt in a car wreck is immensely higher
But
than going.
if they applied that same it's just weird it's very weird for me as like I guess a logical person or whatever. If someone is going to like say, okay, well, there's enough evidence that we got to pump the brakes on this potentially life-saving vaccine, yet they will gladly drink Mountain Dew or they will
Take ivermectin.
yeah, take ivermectin or they'll take ibuprofen, which
You
is
want to
like
just talk about this now? I mean, we're already
yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, so yeah, so basically the FDA under Trump wants to make it that you can't, that anyone under 65, that they're going to make it very impossible and they're going to make it impossible for anyone under 65 to get the COVID vaccine.
yeah.
And I guess the only way they can do it is if the pharmaceutical companies do these like ridiculous tests, supposedly, and really what these tests are designed to do, besides the fact
They just pump the brakes,
pump
yeah.
the brakes because it will delay the release of a new vaccine.
Yeah, and I don't know, here's the thing I don't know is that I don't know if you can still get those shots or
Or they're
if
not
they're
updating it. It's important that there's an update every year.
yeah, but like my like I don't know if my insurance I guess that's a real question. Will my insurance cover it even
Oh
if
yeah,
it's
that
not
too. They might
yeah,
make the
because they might
pharmaceutical
say, well, it's
company
not
label
FD
it.
it's not FDA approved anymore, so you're not covered. Um
It doesn't make any sense. It
yeah.
doesn't. This is either pure conspiracy, just because people in charge now are just completely conspiracy brained, or it's a plot to fucking kill
It's
Americans.
a weird one because like I I mean, a lot of Trump's administration's decisions are logical. They're terrible, but like you see what they're doing. Like, oh, they don't want to pay taxes. That's why they're doing that.
Well, everything
Or
he's doing right now, like that, when we'll get to that later, the bill is designed to See, this is why the reason why he's pushing tariffs is because a tariff is just a new tax. And if
Yeah,
you lower taxes to the point that people aren't paying him and you put a new tax on people, like tariffs,
right.
you subsidize the tax cuts you're going to give the billionaires
Yeah, it's a very
by,
regressive way of
by
taxing
making
people.
us pay for literally everything.
Yeah. But like
Such a scam.
I
And
don't see at all the benefit or the short or even the long game by not letting people get vaccinated. Like unless your goal is to kill people. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like I
I really
mean,
think it's the latter. I don't think it's the first one.
yeah.
I think the conspiracy is the lie they use, and that's how they get the idiots to vote for them.
But like
And
I don't think
the main goal is to fucking kill people because it's
but
like,
I
why
don't
else
think
would you do that?
RFK wants to kill people. Like I
I
really
think
don't
he
think
does. I think RFK
mm.
doesn't give a fuck about anybody. I
Oh, I
think
believe he
right
doesn't
wing,
give a yeah, I
he's a
believe he
right
doesn't
wing
care, but
grifter. He was bought out by
mm,
right wing groups years ago. He's gets paid by Russia. Like there's always been some weird connection
yeah.
between him and Trump for years. That's why when he ran in as a Democrat for president, it was like, who's buying this shit? And all the Republicans were
Yeah.
pushing him. It made no sense. And then there was all these clowns like Rob Schneider or whatever.
He's gonna be here in Dallas like over the weekend, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be hysterical. Rob Schneider like said like I'm voting for Robert Kennedy. It was all these like goofball right wing celebrities were like
Yeah.
I'm voting for, and then the minute Robert Kennedy endorsed Trump, all of a sudden they're like I'm voting for Trump because Robert
Yeah.
Kennedy. Like it's so stupid this like rollout, but clearly it worked because
Yeah, it worked.
Trump's president and Robert Kennedy is the fucking FF.
Secretary of Health and Human Services. It's really
People are
crazy
gonna
because
die, and it's just
yeah.
gonna make the virus bigger, and things are gonna shut down again.
Well, yeah, there are like also like kind of in the background still a lot of measles deaths and
Yeah, it's scary. I'm telling
like
you,
weird like
COVID,
diseases. Yeah.
they want us dead. They do. I really believe the
Yeah.
administration wants people dead. It's not like,
Well, at least like
and then some idiot
uh
be like, more people died under the vaccine. No,
yeah, that's not
no,
true.
that's not true.
Um
Where are you getting? Where did you read that in the
yeah.
local yokel press? Like the fuck out of here.
Uh,
What minion meme did you see on Facebook or something?
yeah, it's probably like a piece of AI non. You see that the Chicago Sun-Times and the Philadelphia Inquirer ran articles over the weekend, the 15 best summer books, 15 books to read over the summer.
Is this a joke?
No, it's true, 100% true. So I get like a lot of these newspapers, they buy syndicated articles like
Yeah,
uh
that's been going on for
right.
years. Yeah.
So this guy wrote an article, top 15 books to read over the summer, and 10 of the books weren't real. Guy just used AI to make the article, and like only five of the books on the top 15 exist.
You think AI
All
would at least picked up on like the other 10?
I don't know. I work with AI a lot, and unless you
For
really
what?
know
What are you
uh,
using it?
all sorts of shit, like honestly, like I like every once in a while, well, I used it to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Are
So
you
it was,
serious?
yeah, I had to be my dungeon master. I was like, okay, I haven't played Dungeons
Oh,
and
that's so
Dragons in
weird.
like
Okay,
40
cool, I
years.
guess.
So no, and I'll use it
Loser. No, I
like
was kidding.
I'll use it like
Sorry, I see
if my kid has a test on something,
the upper
I'll
cheek AI.
no, I'll feed it like all my kids' tests for the semester and then say use these to make a practice test. It's good at stuff like that.
It comes back in like Klingon.
But
Dot
here's the thing. Here's the thing I started noticing. I did this Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and like 3 or 4 days into it, I noticed like some of the names are changing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's not that person's name. Like what it's like it was like Myra and now it's like Moira or something, you know? And I'm like, it's close, but that ain't it. And so I start looking in the settings and I you can open up the memory and see what it remembers, and it remembers things real different. Like it has a weird wonky. I'm not going to get into the
Well, I
details,
mean,
but
it's like even like with AI animations that people are still trying to get away with.
yeah,
It's not consistent looking.
right.
They'll have like they're getting better like animation wise, like movements and voices, but like
Yeah.
it is almost impossible for like one scene to look the same as the second scene.
Yes, it doesn't have it can only it does have a persistent memory, but it's limited and it uses shortcuts. So anyway, I started looking under the hood and I'm noticing like all these fucking things. So you could see if a person's writing an article and they go through several different drafts, AI is going to get some shit wrong because AI starts relying on its own memory, which isn't persistent. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with it, but like you could see a lot of these idiots reading articles that were written by AI probably did read somewhere
Well,
that there was
I
some
mean, during
deaths. I mean, who
COVID,
knows?
during COVID, there's like was studies, and I don't know, look it up, I guess. But
Yeah.
basically, there was like they were able to like locate the source of like the biggest anti-vaxxer memes, and it was like 10 to 12 accounts that were basically from
Yeah.
Russia. And then you got
Yeah.
people, and then you had Russia paying right wingers like Tim Pool to, you know, push propaganda and stuff like that. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on here, man? I don't get the thing with the vaccine. It makes no sense. I don't understand the value of it. And if your response to me is that the vaccine killed more people than COVID did,
Yeah, it just didn't.
I'm not gonna have
Right.
a conversation with you. You're clearly a
It's like trying to argue with someone that, that the I don't know,
arguing with your dog about like
it is. It's like
philosophy.
arguing with your dog about algebra, like
Yeah.
that's clearly not the
Dog's like,
square
you
root of
fucking idiot. Everybody knows you carry the four over the pipe. The
right.
opposites of the obtuse. Like, what?
Yeah.
But
Right.
everything has like but he's just but the joke is it's just barking. Like we hear
Right.
barking, but the dog's like, you fucking idiot. I'm trying to
Yeah.
explain to you the theories. I know the
Right.
cure for cancer. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Ruff, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to
There's
save
nothing there.
humanity. What?
There's nothing there.
Shut the fuck up, you stupid dog. I
Well,
know the cure for cancer.
uh,
Shut the fuck up, Snoopy. That's my dog.
anyway, is
I
it,
don't think my dog knows the cure for anything.
but it
Say
is
the
weird. It's
cure for
this
my sanity by
the
making me insane.
the the worrisome part. I mean, obviously, not having access to the COVID virus is worrisome, but the other worrisome part is that this is the tip of the this is only the stuff we know about. There's probably all sorts of shit that's getting slow walked, and there's probably a lot of like bribery involved in grifting. Like, oh well, I think you need an extra study unless Trump gets to have a free round of golf at your club, or yeah, I mean, like
Yeah, it's all
all
scams. I
shit
mean,
like that. Yeah,
they're all
so
trying to bilk. All this is designed to bilk companies, bilk. So, yeah, it's just
yeah.
it's a everybody.
Well, there was a thing, that Richard Grenell, that weirdo Trump advisor, is a big election denier. They investigated Live Nation and Ticketmaster. They were going to do something about ticket prices, and then the next thing you know, a bunch of Trump's friends are on the board at Live Nation. They all got like cushy jobs, like no-show jobs with big paychecks. It's there's no nothing that isn't for sale, and it's gross. I mean, they're you buy tickets for a show and you're supporting Trump. You do anything and you're supporting
Go
Trump.
to
I
a
mean, it's
restaurant. I
yeah,
yeah, once again, restaurants are owned by Republicans. That's a fact.
yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's such a joke. I forgot. Oh, did your Kid Rock's restaurant have to shut down?
Was it feces?
Probably, but no, because of he had no workers. They were like, I guess, detained or something.
That's hilarious.
He was like, I disagree with Trump on this. I love Mexican.
I love
Yeah, but
inexpensive labor.
do you not? I didn't know they were Hispanic.
Yeah.
Bow to
Yeah.
bow to bang bang bitty bitty
Oh,
bitty bump
uh,
up the beat. Oh,
yeah,
fuck
that's
that guy. No, but I thought
yeah.
that was really funny. Yeah, look it up. Like Kid Rock's restaurants closed
I
down.
just looked at, I didn't realize that the name of his restaurant was Kid Rock's Big Ass Honky Tonk Rock and Roll Steakhouse. Which is that's something, huh?
Oh,
Um, yeah, Kid Rock distances himself from national restaurant over attempted immigration bust. Like, jeez. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid Rock's big ass hunky tonk rock and roll steakhouse in Nashville. I mean, this guy's a fucking idiot.
He's always been a great, he's like a little rich kid from like a nice suburb
He's always
of,
supported the right wing.
yeah.
Always. He supported Bush. This isn't like some unique thing. I always love when they try to make like it's like no, he was always a Republican. Like
Yeah.
he was a
Oh,
Republican
yeah.
from day one. Like
Yeah.
this isn't like some you Trump isn't some unique thing. It's
No,
you know.
no.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Well, all right. So yeah, that vaccine thing's ridiculous. So we scratch that off the list. Let's talk about Murderbot. Speaking of murdering,
Yeah.
Murderbot.
I had been hearing about this show for a while, and then you watched it and reminded me that it had gone live.
Yeah, it's on
Um,
Apple.
and I think in my head I was expecting something different. This was a really fun, good
It
show.
is comedic. It has some
Yes.
satire. The characters are.
Well, it reminded me a lot of like Deadpool's not the right way of describing
I
it.
think maybe the violence, like when he gets bit, like
Yeah,
he saves that woman, right? This isn't. You saw this episode, right?
yeah,
That two-headed like fucking sand bug came
yeah,
out of the
yeah,
ground and like attacked the woman and then it attacked him and he fought it. He went down the road.
yep,
But like when he's carrying her body or whatever, the passed out people. Oh,
yeah,
first of all, the one woman has like a panic attack after it. So there's two women and he's hot. They bought him to help as security for some scientific research.
yeah. They're like space hippies. They
And
didn't want to buy a robot, but
yeah,
they had to for
yeah, they're all like
insurance. Yeah,
they're space woke, basically.
yes, they're spoke.
Yeah. And what I was gonna say is he how do I say this? There was something up with the robot. Like he's clearly like he's off the grid or something. Like
He
he's self-thinking. He is clearly
yeah,
like he is like aware. He is
he
aware.
had
He sits there and watches like Netflix, like while he's just standing
that's
there.
what he did. He had a chip in his brain that prevented him from doing it. He could always, all these robots can think and have feelings and whatever, but there's a chip in his brain that prevented him from harming humans or anything.
I always love that in these things. Like even the new Child's Play movie,
Yeah,
they kind of rebooted it and redid it, and like instead of him being a spirit taking over a doll, it was just like a malfunctioning AI.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like you see the guy in the factory pissed off, and he like does something to the fucking chip, and it makes him like the robot crazy.
Well,
And it's just so funny that it is that that these things always have this technology within it, and the only thing keeping these technology in control
it's like a governor
is
chip. Yeah,
literally a chip, one chip that could be taken out, removed, fucked with, and and then after that, it can just keep growing and doing whatever the fuck it wants. I think it's
yeah,
always so funny when they do that.
and
Like,
so this robot cracked his chip, figured out the password or whatever, and then
kind of like the companion movie
yeah,
when she kind of takes control of her own like
yeah,
iPad or something, and
yeah, similar. But then the first thing he does, you're right, is he watches like 5,000 hours of Netflix, and then he
right,
starts
watch
learning about.
5,000 hours of Apple TV.
Well, they
Not
show
that
him
much.
like on a hill, like I guess presumably guarding the
But he's just sitting there
expedition.
watching
He's just watching TV. He's like,
well, that's why I found it interesting. So, like, when the woman's having a panic attack, he does something that he isn't supposed to do, and
yeah,
his helmet opens up, and it's Skarsgård, that actor.
yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? Is he human? But I guess they are all like human synthezoids under there, like synthezoids under there.
Well,
But you don't see their face, but I guess they have a face under that helmet. Or
yeah.
I
There's a
thought at first,
scene.
like, did he create that because he's gone rogue, like that he was able to develop a face? So, did you see him getting repaired? Was that in the first episode?
I don't think so, but there was a scene, unless this is the scene you're talking about. There's a scene in the beginning where they talked about these having organic materials these
Right,
robots.
because when he gets attacked, you see him. There's blood or whatever.
Yes. So
Blood
I
coming.
think he was probably a human at one point. He's probably a human, and they took a
No,
corpse and
I think he's like a. I think from what it seems like he's a. I don't think it's like a RoboCop thing. I think he's like a like a replicant, like Blade Runner type thing.
okay, yeah, that could
I
be.
think it's more like that. It's not a. straight up. He's not. I don't think he's like a cyborg. And
Yeah.
okay, so okay, it was in the second episode because that did the episode end when he took his helmet off and like
Yes. Yeah.
that's how that was like the cliffhanger.
Well, he kills that whole expedition in the first episode.
I don't remember that. I have to rewatch that. Yeah, but there's flashbacks of him remembering things before I guess he broke his chip or whatever, and he has memories of like being literally a murder bot, like killing people, and he doesn't know the full story or something. Like,
Hmm.
and I think like when they sold the robot to those people, they made sure something that I don't know, there was no memory of him being like.
Okay.
But there's definitely something off about him. Yeah, you gotta watch the second episode. It's an
The
interesting.
third one comes out like tonight or
Yeah, I'm
tomorrow.
gonna watch that after we're done. Um, I like that other show. I mean, it's okay. I don't know if gonna say it's worth watching, but the Don Draper, the what's the guy's name who played Don Draper?
Oh, yeah, you Friends and what is it called? Friends and Neighbors?
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
worth watching.
There's also, did you watch the one, yeah, I think you did, with not Don Johnson, Sawyer from Lost.
John
Is
Hamm.
it?
John
Oh,
Hamm.
yeah, John
Oh yeah, I
Hamm's
watched
in.
that first episode of that show. It's okay. I mean, I think it's interesting. I like the part when the you saw the episode?
No, but I want to watch it. I
Oh,
haven't
okay,
seen it yet.
watch it and we can talk about it next week. There
All
should be
right,
2 episodes, so we could add that in there because Handmaid's
cool.
begun. Yeah, what's that called again? It's like the
It
name of a car or something. I don't know.
Yeah. What is that guy's name? Sawyer from Lost. Josh, what is
I
his
have no idea.
name? It's not Josh Sawyer.
I know, yeah.
Uh,
I just
Josh
remember we
Holloway.
talked about this. Like, I just remember like when we watched like because we started watching Lost from getting DVDs from Netflix to
Yeah,
catch up. And I
Duster
just
is the name of the show.
okay, what's it called?
Duster.
Buster? Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes place in like in the early 70s. Uh I just remember like he was like a fucking prick in that first
Yeah.
season mostly. Like he seemed like a villain more. And then he has like a
Yeah, it's like a moderate redemption arc, but it's not even really like a strong
he's always
redemption
kind of a
arc.
prick. But I
Yeah.
like the whole story. We talk about this. In Lost, you find out that him and Locke are basically like half brothers, and they both have
Yeah.
the same scumbag dad.
There's something weird about that. Yeah.
Whereas like,
Um,
the dad was like this straight up criminal. Like he's just like this is like horrible person, and they were both like the victims of in different ways. I always remember when I'm talking about Lost, like wasn't like the big thing what Locke was? Yeah, you found out, and this is why he loved being on the island more than anyone else, because you found out he was paralyzed. You
yeah.
find out, I don't know if in the first season or you find out in the second season when they show a flashback,
He's in a
and
wheelchair or
yeah, he's
something.
in a wheelchair, and you're like, wait, what? But in the island, he wasn't in a wheelchair anymore, and he was like super active, and I think that's why he was like, I love it here.
Yeah.
I could walk, and he
He
became
had
like,
a fucked up arc on Lost
yeah, like
too.
he was kind of weak, like a weak person in a way, and the
Well,
father
and
took
he also
advantage of
got
him.
killed like halfway through it. And then when
Well,
he
the
came
father
back,
threw him out of a fucking window or something. He gave him his
yeah,
kidney or something, and then the guy
that's right. I forgot about
it's
that.
like super fucked up. Yeah, the dad
Yeah.
was like
Oh,
straight up evil. And I remember there was like an episode where somehow the dad's on the island and uh what's it, Sawyer? Because you find out, I guess it's his dad too.
right.
And they both have like he's tied in a chair and like I don't know, either they torture him to death or kill him or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
like, how
fucked
did he
up.
get here? And it's like it doesn't even matter anymore. The
Yeah.
island's magic, man. Do you remember? Okay, one of the funniest things ever made. I know we're not talking about Murderbot, which is fine. Watch Murderbot; it's a good show.
Yeah, it's good.
So when Lost ended, there was a lot of people disappointed in the ending because they didn't explain everything. I remember there was like a cut scene that explained some things, like there was like
Yes.
these guys in like a different island somewhere or did a job and they were getting like printouts and they're like, what? Nothing. Like they don't do anything, and then you find
Right.
out a lot of the stuff was from this company that ran the island before Linus, what's his name? Killed
Benjamin Linus. Yeah.
yeah, Linus from Peanuts. Remember when he had that blanket,
Right.
security blanket?
Yes.
Uh, this should have been an episode where he carried the like a blue blanket
The
or
whole
something.
time. Thumb in his mouth
Yeah,
and
it's been
everything.
there the whole time. Um, but I remember Linus would use it as a whip, take on bullets.
Yeah.
You know, not a bad idea to have a blanket, buddy.
Yeah.
Um, He suck on his thumb. Uh, what the fuck I was even? Oh, so they did a thing at Comic-Con that year because show ended and they did a
Yeah,
thing that brought everybody there. And they played a clip of the two actors that were both like Jacob and I don't know, the guy who ended up being the smoke monster.
yeah,
And they're behind the joke is you see the people like crashing and it's like the first night they're there. And all of a sudden the camera pans. And now clearly it's new footage.
yeah, yeah.
And it's the joke is like this is uncut footage
Right, right.
where the two because you find out they were like brothers. They were like kind of like Cain and Abel,
Yeah,
Jacob and his brother who's the smoke monster. And
yeah.
they're having this conversation where they're like explaining everything that's going to happen, making basically the joke being that no, Lost didn't make this up as they went along.
Right, right.
It was there from the beginning. Him and Jacob. It's so fucking funny. They like you
That's
can find one
funny.
on YouTube. They're just like, and he's gonna do this, yeah, and he's gonna do that, you know. Funny. Like this is brilliant. Actually, this is like what
Yeah.
was? Oh, they did the same thing. They did another funny one. I think at a Comic-Con or something where Bryan Cranston's character.
Oh, I remember hearing about this.
Uh, it's the ending. Oh, it's the season finale or the real ending to Breaking Bad, where the father from
Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm Middle wakes up and
Yeah.
he's like, I had this weird dream next to the wife, and it was really
Yeah.
funny. And it was kind of a nod to the whole
Newhart.
New Heart ending,
Yeah.
yeah, with the original wife.
Yeah.
That was
Suzanne
probably annoying.
Pleshette.
That probably fucked with people's minds for a bit. Like,
I remember seeing that, and because oddly enough, I loved Newhart reruns when I was a kid.
yeah,
And then I watched what didn't Newhart wasn't he a reporter in Chicago or something?
I never actually watched New Heart.
Okay, well anyway, then I watched
I watched
the
the one where he was a cartoonist, and it was called like Dogman or something. I don't know.
well then I watched the '80s show with Peter Scolari and the rest of them, and I remember seeing that and just thinking like I'd never seen anything like that on TV before. That like blew my mind as a
My
kid.
favorite is the ending to. I never even watched that show, but the ending to what was it like? Seeing it? It was like whatever the hospital was. It was like a show. Howie
Oh,
Mandel
St. Elsewhere, yeah.
seen elsewhere, and like the finale, like
Yeah.
the hospital is in some autistic kid's like snow
Snow
globe.
Globe, yeah.
And there's a great like I think we talked about this. There's a guy like a Reddit article or somewhere where someone
Yeah.
expand they call whatever that kid's name was, the expanded universe.
Right,
Because
yeah.
if St. Elsewhere takes place in a hospital, that means everything else
ER,
takes place in the snow
yeah.
globe because there were like hundreds of spin-offs that came spin-offs of spin-offs of spin-offs
Yeah.
that originated from that show. And it's like there's like 65 shows here that I guess take place in this
In a
kid.
snow globe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
The
one.
rules. It's like I mean, you aren't supposed to take it that literal, but sure, thanks. Clearly, the
Yeah.
person who came up that list also has a snow globe that
Right.
keeps, you know,
Yeah.
like anybody that does that is
Saint Elsewhere though was real. They had a bunch of episodes that were real fucked up. They had one where like
I never watched it. I just remember
Howie
like
Mandel
the
went to
guy with
hell.
AIDS. He went to hell.
Yeah, and it was weird. He was in the hell was a body of water and he was in a rowboat. And he was just in a rowboat the entire episode. And it was
Was
like
he dead?
I think he was a near death experience. And
Oh shit.
he,
Is that like
yes.
later seasons? Like we don't know what to fucking do anymore.
Yeah, I think that
That's it. We have 22 episodes a season. We're gonna one or two of them is gonna be really fucking stupid.
right. Yeah, Saint Elsewhere.
I
But
never
anyway, my
watched it.
point is
I
they
just remember
had
one episode they tackled like AIDS, and I just remember this like very frail gay man covered in like liver spots or something, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds frightening."
yeah. Okay, so episode season 5, episode 9, episode is called Afterlife, and Howie Mandel is shot, and while being treated, he has a dream-like experience where he visits heaven, hell, and purgatory.
Does he do Gizmo's voice the entire time?
He puts the surgical glove over his head and blows it up with his nose and pretends to be a rooster. It's a very
Yeah,
funny scene. It's a very funny.
I forgot. I still think I need to go back and watch it. Walk
Yeah.
Like a Man, where Howie Mandel plays a boy who gets lost and taken in and he's literally raised by wolves, and then he's discovered and
Yeah.
Bobo, and one of the best scenes in the movie. He's like going up to somebody. I don't know if it's like in the bathroom or somewhere, and he's like basically going up the guy's ass, like sniffing him.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
remember that.
screaming, "Hey, what are you, some kind of homo?" And he's like, "I'm not a homo, I'm a Bobo." Care.
Oh,
Yelling at, calling him a homo, his age poorly.
yes.
That line return is incredible. And the
Yeah.
fact that his name is Bobo is just comedy. Just, I'm not a homo, I'm a Bobo. The
Oh,
excuse I'm going to use when I go up there
yes. Right.
on the men's room. Don't worry about me. I'm just a Bobo. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, I remember that movie." No, you don't. No one does.
Howie Mandel. All right. So anyway, that
That guy will not shake your hand. Just know that.
yeah.
He's like the biggest germaphobe.
Yeah.
Oh, you made a joke. I think you made a joke about COVID or something. Like, "Hey, I've been prepared for like decades."
Right.
Like, I saw him one time live. He had that game show. Uh,
Yeah, about the suitcases or
yeah, it was like all
something.
the hot women holding
Yeah.
cases. And he the Toys R Us in New York City. Yeah, every once in a while, I go after work and there'd be like all these crazy events. I remember like I went to the Virgin Record store, it was like right next to it.
Hmm.
There was like a free Misfits concert in the middle of the fucking
That's
Virgin. It
weird.
was awesome. I was like, "What?" I'm like on the escalator watching them. It's fucking
Yeah.
cool. Like I didn't know. I didn't know it was gonna happen. Um, but yeah, I went to like Toys R Us and there was like what was it called again? The show?
Saint Elsewhere.
No, the game show.
Oh, I know it had suitcases. It was
Yeah,
like
he was doing a live version of that at like in the middle of the Toys R Us in New York City. I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
he's done a lot of game shows.
Smart move on his part.
Yeah, you can probably make a lot of money that way. He
Once
was
you
on
get into that, you're not worried about trying to make a fucking movie or anything. You just gotta make sure the game show is like
he here and this isn't even all of them. He hosted Match Game. He hosted a run of Hollywood Squares.
like Drew Carey. Drew Carey ended up becoming a game show.
Yeah, that's true.
You got the prices right.
Um,
Is that what he is?
he no, that's Drew. Yeah, Drew Carey's Price is Right. You're right. Um, let's see. Wow, he had a comedy show called Howie that had Gilbert Gottfried, Little Richard, and Lita Ford.
When did that air? That must have been like the 80s.
Fuck, 1992.
I don't remember that at
I
all.
don't either. That
That's
seems
a
like a
strange
fever,
group of
fucking fever dream. That's like
there's a
I think
there's
AI
a
wrote
yeah,
this article. I
yeah,
think
I wrote that
I think
script.
none of that
Leader
happened.
for Gilbert Godfrey, Little Richard.
None of that makes sense.
That
Guy
kid
would
who was in those commercials in the 70s that grew up to be really ugly. I don't
God,
know.
weird.
Richard Nixon's ghost.
That's where he introduced his character Bobby, who later appeared as the focal point of Bobby's world.
Oh, that cartoon. And
Yeah.
Bobby sounded exactly the same as Gizmo.
Right. Yeah, because he was
And
in Howie Mandel was in Gremlins 2.
he was Gremlins 1 and 2. He was Gizmo.
Yeah, you're right. He was Gremlins 1 and
And
2.
he said he got if he was being interviewed because he also did a show. I think he did Skeeter from the Muppets because they wanted to
He
make the
did
show more real.
he
Yeah, they
did
had a
Bunsen Honeydew.
I thought he was Skeeter too.
He could have been
The
Skeeter
girl.
too.
I think he was like the sister or something. I don't know. He was a voice, and he basically said in like some talk show, like the one voice he did for Gizmo actually ended up getting him like 4 roles or something. He's like, it's the same fucking voice. They got
That's
paid.
funny. You're right. For the first 2 seasons of Muppet Babies, he was Bunsen Honeydew, Animal, and Skeeter.
Oh, that's funny.
What
Wow.
a man of
We didn't
many
know we were
talents.
going such a deep dive on Howie Mandel. Lord.
Right. Howie
All right.
Mandel. All
Let's
right.
talk about The Last of Us. Imagine Howie
Yes.
Mandel shows up in The Last of Us.
Jo-
He probably would hate The Last of Us because he's like a
so many
germaphobe. He'd
germs.
be
Yeah.
like, it would just kill him. He'd be like, I wish I died.
This episode, this is kind of like a weird episode of Last of Us for me because it was basically a flashback with
Yeah, it
Joel.
basically filled in everything. You
Yes.
learn why Ellie was mad at Joel. I guess it was because she fully found out that
Yes.
he killed those people. And
Right.
I guess her whole thing was like,
And then she also
he
found out
clearly
that
was meant to die. Like
yeah,
she's like, I could have saved humanity.
that was why I'm here.
But I
My
also
purpose.
really believe the way they shot that and filmed it, even though Joel's like, yeah, they could have probably saved. He even says that, but I felt like they were kind of showing, and I was like,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna happen here. It's just Ellie's gonna be dead, and
The way I remember it is like,
they look very like scattershot. It was like,
even if they get a vaccine, how are they going to distribute it? The whole world is mushroomed. What are you gonna like? You're gonna fix maybe part of Lower Seattle or something? I mean, like,
yeah. I
how are
mean,
you gonna?
it would take like, I mean,
You'd probably have like a regional RFK saying we've got to test this further. We got
I have a test. I also am a bloater. I'm one of
more
the bloaters.
more people have died of the cryptovirus, the
The more people have died of
cordyceps
the
vaccine than
vaccine,
the
the Ellie
cordyceps.
vaccine, than the corticoids, or what are they
Yeah,
called?
the
What was it?
cordyceps virus.
Cordyceps. I might be 100% cordyceps now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it was a good episode, the museum episode. Supposedly they're
Oh,
like
so good.
really borrowing from the game. I guess that's in the game
Yeah.
too.
Um,
We were talking about this earlier. So like Joey Pantalone is, I was like, hey, that guy looks familiar. So this
yeah.
is towards the end. That's like, I don't know, the last year before, where they're on like some kind of recon or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a guy, and he got bit clearly.
Yep.
And I remember he pulls out a gun, but they're like, the gun's not even loaded, and he just like, I want to
Right.
see my wife. And Ellie's like, we should bring him. He has like an hour, but he really didn't. He didn't have an hour.
He did well, and you never know. Like, what are you gonna bring him in? And
He was
then
already turning cold. Joe
yeah.
did the right fucking thing.
Yeah, you got
Ellie's a
to.
moron. I'm sorry. Ellie's a moron.
Only problem Joel should have just popped him real quick, like
Right
without
there.
any, yeah, just
Yeah.
boom, and then nobody has time to be sad. Uh,
Yeah, they didn't have time to get to know Joe Pantaleone. I just love though, even though like he always plays a guy who just like fucks up things.
yeah,
That's like he gets those roles. He's always like
right.
the
The
trouble.
hide the zombie bite guy.
Yeah, well, he was
Um,
totally a hide the zombie bite guy. I mean, he was like he would have tried to hide the entire time. What's the deal with her though? When she gets bit, doesn't she like burn it or something? She tries to like,
she tried to burn off the zombie bite, the bite to, I think, bypass any question, like, because if you have a bite mark, then people are gonna A, think you are infected,
yeah,
or B, they'll know that you are immune, which we've seen is also problematic for her because um, being immune will make you a target of something else, So
yeah,
I think she was just trying to hide the bite. I don't think it was anything super deep.
yeah.
Uh,
It was just good to see, like, all because 5 years passed, so it was good to see
yeah.
them and see the relationship. And the thing that kind of fucked things up was Joel killing that guy, and then that's
Yep.
when you find out Catherine O'Hara's character was the the wife to that guy. That's why I was like confused. I for some reason thought when she said you killed my husband, I was like, oh, it was like one of the doctors from the place he killed it.
Yeah. I
I was the wife of one of them, but no. Then you said no. It's supposed to be someone from the,
from that settlement, and
yeah.
I didn't know how it. I wondered if I'd missed it, but apparently I didn't. It was revealed in this latest
Joel
episode.
did a whole look at the rabbits.
Yeah.
Fucking mice and men. What's his name?
Yeah, George and Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny. Which one was like
I think George was the simple one, and Lenny was the scrawny grifter one.
yeah, scrawny grifter. Well, there was like depression there, so I think
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
grifter. Um, that's how you were able to get by.
Hey,
Yeah, he kind of did that to him. Like, oh, look at the mountains; they're so beautiful. These fucking
yeah.
like,
Well, yeah. I don't.
no, I think Joel in this case, I think Joel did the right thing. I think
Oh,
Ellie's
clearly.
an
Yeah.
idiot kid for even. It's like, no, you don't bring him back.
No, of course not. I mean, that's
And then the
even
wife getting
Catherine
bit. It's
O'Hara is
like
like,
he
I know
already
you.
was bit.
Yeah.
Already bit. Like he's dead.
Right. Yeah.
And then you're
Um.
dead, and it's obvious. Yeah, fine. It might not change so quickly, but it doesn't matter. You're dead.
Yeah, they're not going to fix you. Even if you left him alive, he'd be dead. Like he would be dead. There'd be something else in his place moving around, but it wouldn't be him. Yeah, I don't know. My only problem with this episode, which was great, is that it emphasized what's lacking in these other episodes.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you were telling me about that before. Like, yeah, I mean, Joel brings something to the table, and Ellie's character is annoying. Even though I did like her, like halfway in the last episode, especially when she took on that
yeah,
girl, and she's like, "I knew." Like, she's now
yeah,
using that, even though she didn't agree with Joel did. But like, so supposedly, and everybody's like, next season
yeah.
focuses on Abby.
Oh Jesus.
Well, there's only one episode left, so.
Yeah,
And Abby's that fight, I doubt that fight will happen where you told me like in the game.
yeah,
But
yeah.
because it is like the game, and I guess in the game you get to know the character Abby and you end up being sympathetic to her a bit. Even though, like I said, I just think that they made her that's gonna be a tough road because let me tell you, like I just feel like she's a fucking bitch. She's a fucking villain.
Yeah,
She fucking
she's clearly a villain, and like you
treats
said
her
last
fucking
week,
staff like shit. She just fucking killed a guy even after him saving. Like
yeah,
fuck, at least like I don't know, interrogate him or like like she just killed him and it's like he saved your fucking life. Like
yeah,
I don't know,
she,
but
yeah,
Ellie can't. I mean, fuck, you like can't forgive a guy for killing your dad and the entire staff. Like what was it, like
I,
30 people he killed, and Ellie can't fucking forgive the well-meaning old man who said something stupid when he was
right,
drunk.
yeah,
You can't forgive him. Even like what's her name, the girlfriend or the one who's
Dina, Dina,
Dina. She's like, just get the fuck over it. Who cares?
yeah,
He's
right.
like helping us. Like, what the fuck, Ellie? Like, I don't know.
Well,
I will say though, man, people are so fucking hard. There's so many horrible memes about her. They're making her look.
yeah, I was a
It's
little surprised.
so.
I was on a Reddit about the show, and a lot of people just piling on her. And I think the actress is very good, and the character's a good character. And I don't really have any problems with the character. I just think that the show needs a balance, and that balance is gone with Joel. I had no problems with Ellie as a character when it was Ellie and Joel, because they
Yeah,
had a dynamic that worked, and it kind of together told a story, and you could see both characters growing, and it just worked really well. And then without Joel and Ellie as the focal point, now it doesn't work, and I don't really
that's why
have like
that
a
show. Yeah, this episode was good, but like you said, yeah, it shows there's a deficit that
yeah. And
was
it's no
happening.
knock on the act. The actress is fine. The character's fine. It's not like a
And the
bad
difference is like,
character.
okay, you're playing a game, right? And like, oh man, let's set Joel's not around, but this game's awesome, so I'm gonna still play
Right.
it. Like he's
Yeah.
but when you're watching a show and the main character's killed and he was an integral part of like how the show works, it's not the same thing. A game, you're playing
Yeah.
the game, you're not you're I mean you're watching it because you're but I don't know. I
Like
still think that, go ahead, what?
it's like watching old Ernie and Bert skits without Bert, you know. It's
And
just
the
not
and
there.
the and the hand jobs. Hand
Right.
jobs
It's
that
just
if
not there.
Ernie would get Bert, it's like wait, you get rid of Ernie but it's like two problems because now where's he
Yeah.
getting a hand job from? Camilla can't.
Right.
Camilla has one. She can't jerk him off. She's got one. The chicken,
No.
the
They call
hot
that
chicken.
they call it when Ernie and Bert do it getting felt up, because they're puppets. They're made out of felt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all felt up tonight.
They get felt up. Yeah. So
You felt that up? Shut the
to
felt
get
up,
felt up
mother
my
felter,
chest cavity.
mother felter.
Yeah. So
What is it like? What do Muppets use for lube? A dryer sheet?
try yeah.
So weird. what what do Muppets use for lube? A dryer sheet?
Yeah. There
Waka
you
waka waka.
go.
Ah. Here's our dryer sheet. Waka waka.
All
Oh
right. So
man, Fozzie would be too funny if you did that joke.
mm, well, I'm definitely I'm gonna watch next episode. I'm gonna watch the next season. I'm still sticking with the show. I just
Yeah, I mean, it's a well done show. I
Yeah, it's
just think it's
good.
funny though. Like that second episode was just so insane, and I'm
Yeah,
sure there'll be some uh fucking what are they? What's it called? Cordyceps clicker action, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm curious what the next episode's gonna be like because it's only put. Well, and they already said they're planning on splitting the show the second game into 3 seasons.
yeah. I yeah.
I mean,
I
if the
just
okay, if the whole next season focuses on Abby, like,
yeah.
isn't that gonna be like such a huge disconnect from like the only
Well,
thing I could say is if you have Abby in it, those other characters like Jeffrey Wright, because she's part of that whole
yes.
Seattle thing, right? Like,
Right, right.
or they became part of that Seattle thing.
They became it. Yeah.
So it would go more into that. This one thing that they went into, and I feel like they didn't good job. They didn't do a good job developing it. Is that weird like cult that like they're
Yeah.
anti-technology and they do that scars on their face? Looks like they're smiling, like they're I don't know, they're like smiling or something. It's
Yeah.
weird. Their cheeks. Like they didn't really get into it much. All you know is like a bunch of them were dead or killed, and
Yeah.
that was that one that was captured. I think it was the Jeffrey Wright character that caught him, and
Right. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah, it was cool. Let's talk about the what's it called again? The second to last or
The
what's it?
penultimate. Yeah,
Penultimate
penultimate.
episode of Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Um, I thought it was great. I liked
Um,
it. That
yeah.
ending was great. I will say though, if you do not spoilers, if you are
Yeah.
like, how the fuck does June survive all the time? You are not gonna like this episode.
Yeah, right.
June
Um,
literally gets hung.
yeah.
Her body is lifted
Dangling.
like
Yeah.
50 feet in the air from her fucking neck. She's choking. She
Yeah.
doesn't die. They get her down quickly. And then the next scene, she's like running around. You're like, sure, you should be able to do this. You should be lying down. And she's like, I can't lie down. It's like she doesn't even be. She
Yeah.
should. First of all, her voice should be like solely fucked up. She'd be like, I don't ever lie down.
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy did. He was the one who did the voice for her in the second half of the episode.
It was, I'll tell you, it was very, as implausible as it was a very gratifying scene, a very cool scene. To
Oh,
see,
right. Then she says fight, and then they lift her up, and all the bombs go up.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was really
And
cool.
then that one woman who'd been pretended to be an ant, like whips out
Yeah, you
a
find out she's like
handgun and starts
CIA.
popping commanders and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. She was a fucking CIA agent, a former CIA agent, obviously. And then Lydia turning. That's when she had she had her baby face turn, as they were calling in wrestling, when you're
yeah.
like, "What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do?" And then she said that the commander were the sinners,
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
I think that's
Um,
it. I think seeing Janine and the Jezebels, and I guess she didn't know about them. She didn't know about the Jezebels, I
yeah.
guess, or if she did, she just ignored it.
I think, yeah, I think for a brief time she saw it and ignored it, and then it just became too much.
Once you saw the
Um,
reality of it, because in like some fucked up way, it's fucked up because she like abused, like she punished these
she
people,
did, yeah,
Janine is missing an eye because of her.
yeah,
Like but her whole thing was like, your vessels or whatever. This is like a religious act, and you're gonna go to heaven. Like your
yeah,
God's like, and she just bought into that shit so much that's why even like when she has like these ideas, and it's like still it's like, no, you're missing the point. This shit
yeah,
as a whole needs to go away. I understand you wanna like, even it's funny uh like Serena went from being like a right-wing conservative to like a MSNBC former George W.
yeah,
Bush lib, where she's talking to the handmaids at the wedding, and she's like, we're making changes. It's like
right,
the change you will make is getting rid of this shit. There's
yeah.
no baby steps. It's either you have it or you don't. Get
That's
rid
the
of
thing,
it.
is that they didn't reform Nazi Germany, right? Like they didn't like allow the SS to stay the police force in Nazi Germany or whatever. They like fucking pulled it up by the root and killed it. And I think that's like,
They escaped to Argentina, yeah.
well, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, no, like
yes,
they made it illegal. You can't fucking be. You don't see anywhere in Germany, maybe in like private rooms or something, where there's a swastika.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like this is where the United States fucked up. It's like they didn't do a good job during Reconstruction. It basically was like, what was the fucking point of the war? Because they
Right.
just got the South just got a bunch of loopholes. Like, okay, we won't have slavery anymore, but
Yeah.
oh, they're free. They're free to, be treated like shit. Yeah, it's like,
Well, it was kind of interesting because you saw like a horrible, horrible state. Like Gilead was like a hellish nightmare state. And
complete fascist, like just
some people completely bought into it, but then there were people that were like trying to make it better, but they completely missed the point because you can't make something evil better.
no.
You
There's
just got
no.
to get rid of
It
it.
has to go away, and that's when June says
Yes.
that to Lydia, like you took babies from us. This
You
is state
mutilated
sanctioned.
us.
This
Yeah.
is state sanctioned rape. That's what this is. There's no
Yeah.
other word for it. And that's why I don't. It's like June. No, June shouldn't have to forgive Serena in the end. I mean, yeah,
No.
they could be like allies in some way, but no, her husband raped her.
Yeah.
There's that one scene, I don't know which season, it was like two or three, where they like basically she helps
Yeah.
Fred corner her. She pretty much pins June down while Fred fucks her. Like she
Yeah.
raped her. They both raped her. Like, and I feel like they kind of gloss over that. Like Serena was super fucking villainous. It wasn't until she got caught in the United States you start to feel a little sympathy for her.
Yeah.
Not really, but enough. She has her own kid, and then, but again, she's delusional.
She only redeemed herself, if you want to call it that, when it started to affect her, which is like
Yeah.
all these
Like when
right
she went
wingers.
to that house and was being, even though she wasn't technically a handmaid, she was being treated like one by that
Yeah.
woman because she was pregnant and clearly they had designs to take her baby away.
Yeah.
And they would have
Well,
totally done that and it would have been fine. And then they would have made her into a handmaiden probably,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
would have been, karma. It's like,
Well, you
okay,
see
you what?
in all of these situations, you see collaborators. You always see collaborators and shit like this, you know? And it's just and they collaborate in various ways and to various degrees, and Serena's a fucking collaborator. I don't
She's
wish her
one of the
anyway. Yeah.
architects of the whole
Yeah.
thing. It backfired. It was like, oh yeah, you got what you wanted. I do like this is a great episode for Lawrence too. Uh
Yeah.
I mean, the minute they said he had to go on the plane, I was like, oh, he's dead. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way. And then like those guys show up on I guess his goal was he was go on there, sneak the bomb, get the fuck
Right.
off and go. And those guys showed up. I always love the way they depict the other commanders. They're just like Republican assholes. Like
They are,
it's
yeah,
so
like
they get
frat
these
boys or something.
specific actors, just like the Teal women, they get these specific actresses that like they do a good job of like, oh yeah, these are shitty people. Like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like Lawrence has like kind eyes. No, I mean like you could tell he's like an intellectual. He's not like
Yeah.
one of these assholes. Like, and I love that when he says that to the American, I don't know, GI Joe guy. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He's like the leader of the revolution or whatever, second
Hmm.
revolution or whatever. And he says to him, like, dude, I was just like I'm an economist. Like,
Yeah.
and that's clearly what it was. He probably was an economist, and that led to all this. And he ended up fucking because when you get introduced to him in season 2, you said you didn't watch a lot of the show, right?
Right. Yeah. Correct.
So he's kind of introduced like halfway through season 2. And I think June ends up there. It's either
Hmm.
June or Janine. Well, I think it was June. And or maybe it wasn't. It might have been Alexa Bedell's character.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
think it was her. She goes there first or something. I forgot because she was basically the co-lead. She
Yeah.
really was. A lot of stories focused on Rory from Gilmore Girls.
Yes. Right.
And you learn about him and you're like, what's up with this? Like he has art. He could just kind of do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And he had that wife who was a little kooky. And then you find out though later on that he was helping handmaids and Martha's get out of the country. Like he was
Yeah.
aiding them. And that's when June, I guess, talks to him like, yeah, you're trying to make yourself feel better. Yeah, because I don't know if it's the end of season 2 or the end of season 3, where they get a ton of people on a plane to Canada. It's a
Hmm.
great ending. Like it's a really good episode where they just get like a whole plane full of like handmaids and Marthas. I think that's when the Martha, the friend, the one who saves her, the Martha from the house. I forgot her name. She's the one that made the cake or whatever that put everybody to
Oh,
sleep.
okay. All right.
Yeah, did the Bill Cosby special on everybody with her baked
Right. Yeah.
goods. You know what they say about my baked that episode is Cosby Show, and they're all like doze off, and he's like, "You know what they say about my barbecue sauce? Gotta put you to sleep." That's when the Cosby comes out. He
Yeah.
pulls out that pen,
Yeah.
like that doobie or something. I don't know. It was like a pen. It was like a magic pen. What are we gonna do today, pen? I don't know. We're gonna rape someone. That's right.
Oh, woof.
I gotta look it up now. Now I need to know his pen. He had a magic pen.
Yeah.
Cosby's magic pen. I still think it's insane that
Oh,
he'll go down. He'll go down as one of the biggest, most serial rapists in the country.
that's funny.
Mortimer Ichabod Marker from Bill
Oh, I
Cosby's.
remember that. Yeah.
This is what he looks like. Oh, goddamn. So you can't see it. It's inappropriate. Now let me turn off my back. Oh shit. Okay, where's the background? Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
What he looks like.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah. What do you
Mm.
think, Ichabod? You wanna give her my special wine?
Woof.
It's a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This show's great.
It is really good.
It's going out. It's not going out in whimper. I'm curious how the last episode's going to be. I feel like there might be like a time jump or something. Because like, they talk about like, oh, there's like a supreme commander in DC or whatever. And wasn't
Mhm.
that guy from like SVU and stuff? Remember he was in, I don't know if you saw that season when they go to DC and like June kills him or something at like the Jezebel Club or something.
I don't remember that.
I forgot his name. He was in that show Happy with like Patton Oswalt as like an imaginary friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You've seen this.
Geez.
He was
Yeah.
like on SVU for years and
Yeah.
Oz.
I can see him in my head, but I
Yeah,
don't
he
remember
played a
this.
commander for a while, and he was like one of the head, like real head ones. And he was in all kind of interest. He was into all kinds of kink or something at the Jezebel. So,
Oh, all right. Yeah.
real hypocrite. Yeah, like I said, I like that. Lydia realized finally it's her Darth Vader
Right.
turn. Where she's looking like, oh, do I save June from the
Right.
Emperor, or do I, throw this guy into a fucking shaft? And she kind of does that, even though she ends up getting like, she was gonna be hung.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
put
They
her
had a
right
noose
on
on
her.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't, that was a good one. I'm still kind of curious. Like, I think it's a weird situation because they already have a sequel. Some of these characters are going to appear in the sequel. So they're under no obligation to provide a traditional finale. Although I think
Well,
they will,
again, all the villains. Spoilers. All the villains are dead.
Yeah.
Lawrence is dead. Lawrence sacrifices himself. Nick is dead. I didn't want to ruin
Yep.
that for you. And honestly, like in the end, Nick got what he kind of deserved.
Yeah. He made his
He
choice.
he made his choice. Well, there was a great line like earlier, like it was either like I think it was last season when Lawrence, I
Okay.
think he's telling June or whatever, like at the end of the day, he's a man of Gilead. Like
Yeah.
he's a soldier of Gilead. Like he's going to be fighting for Gilead. Like
Yeah. He won't. Yeah. He'll always pick Gilead over anything
and
else.
I mean, obviously to save his own ass, he basically ratted out the Jezebels and they were all killed. But like even towards the end, you could tell like he's kind of being like a dick on the plane. And
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence even says like, yeah, maybe you should have listened to her.
Right.
What do you say? You can't keep a good woman down or something?
Yeah, he said like how's our girl or something like that. And if I remember right, he said like how's our girl, which is calling June a girl. And then Lawrence says you can't keep a good woman down,
Yeah.
which is kind of telling because he calls her a woman, not a girl.
Yeah.
And then Nick said like she tried to tell me over and over again that I should leave all of this behind. And Lawrence is like, yeah, you should have listened to her. And then the plane
When
explodes.
she's looking at the plane and the plane explodes, I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, this ending was brutal. But I knew that was going to happen. I knew he knew it too. Like when he says goodbye
Yeah.
to Janine, it's Janine's daughter, basically. He was like
Yeah, yeah.
the surrogate dad or whatever. No, like they were giving that kid basically, and
Yeah.
he's like, make sure she could read, make sure. And I love how the the wife he was stuck with is like
Yeah.
so Gilead. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. That woman's funny though. I just find her funny. I think she's kind of a ridiculous character, you know. But
Well, I'll be curious to see what happens because
wait,
in
wait. She was trying to when it was a baby. She was trying to raise it. She's so terrible at it. She had no
yeah,
business being a mother. Like it
in
wasn't
the
her kid.
in the book, the Testaments, Gilead is still around and
Well, I would
still,
imagine it would take years to get rid of. I don't think it was
yeah,
like 1, 2, 3 thing. That's why even like go to like Star Wars, like okay, yeah, they blew up the Death Star,
right, yeah,
but that wasn't the end of the Empire. Like there was still going to be
no,
factions, and then you have to take them
yep,
down. And that's why you find out the Battle of Jakku is like the last stand or something.
right, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see the last episode. I think it'll
We
be.
didn't talk about the last episodes of Andor, didn't we?
We talked about that last week, didn't we?
No, because we did the episode on Tuesday and not
Oh shoot, you're
so
right.
let's talk about a little bit let's talk about Andor. I mean, the other stuff's gonna be pretty quick. All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, Handmaids is gonna be great. Like I said though, I think it's gonna be more like the end of like June's story and a couple of characters because there's no point in you were not introduced into these other high commanders. The main villains that you were introduced to or main supporting characters,
Mm-hmm.
half of them are dead, depending on how you want to view Nick. Nick, right? Is it Nick?
Mm-hmm.
How you want to view Lawrence. Lawrence in the end was a good guy. He was a good guy in the end.
Yeah. In
He
the
made a
end, he was a
bold
good guy.
sacrifice. He knew he was doomed. The minute they told him to get on the plane, I love that. He's like, can you just shoot it down? He's like, no, we actually can't. And
Yeah.
I guess he said, like, if that plane gets by, like the war's over. We're done. Like gotta get rid of these fucking commanders. I did like that scene when Serena's running because she leaves that, runs away from the
Mm-hmm.
house. And she sees that handmaid just running out of the house, stabbing the shit out of the teal woman.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. And she's like scared out of her mind. Um, good, it's like
Yeah. Good.
and yeah, but then the teal woman like rats her out. The Lawrence's like wife or whatever rats her
Yeah.
out, and it's like so funny.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought that was my only complaint about it. Most of it was just like after the wedding when they go. We talked about this when they go to it's like they go to their house and he's like holding her. It's almost like a beginning of a honeymoon or something. And then you just see that like sad little handmaid, and you're like, this is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
You think he would have
Yeah.
like how do
The
you?
timing. Yeah.
The timing is weird. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. That was clearly a TV
Oh yeah, this
show.
guy's evil. I mean, we
Yeah.
kind of
They
already know.
needed that for like in a book that would have been like a chapter or two down the road. Like, but they had to speed it up for the show. So
Yeah, I mean, it gets to the point. It's like
yeah.
this guy was full of shit. And it's like, okay, I gave you a library, right? He's not gonna
Right.
give the other women a library. He just gave her a library to placate her. Like, here, here's all your books.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna do this shit. I love
Right.
that when he says, like, oh, well, we're still gonna have this big family.
Yeah. It's like we're here to procreate and bear fruit and fucking
Fucking
psychos.
fucking Mormon. Fucking Mormons.
Uh
I love that too. She's like, I could have kids. Why we need a handmaid? It's like, because I want more. I want to fuck a lot, bitches.
yeah.
Then when he said that, I thought that was crazy. I don't want to get
Yeah. Well,
this,
no.
this dick don't sleep.
Ugh. All right. Yeah, last episodes of
We talked
Andor.
about the first. So there were 3 episodes.
That was it.
We
Yes.
talked about just the first episode, which was that awesome like Luthen and I gotta pull up.
Yeah, Andor was not in it. It was Joe Luthen and like not Kaylee, Kayleen.
Yeah,
Uh,
it like explained what they were doing and
yeah. He was like basically the adoptive father. Um, it was really, really good. The whole thing was
yeah,
good. I would have
Clea.
watched Clay. Yeah.
People are like, she could play Leia, actually.
Yeah, I can see
Kind
that.
of looks a little bit like Carrie Fisher if you squint.
Yeah. Um,
But she's not. She's playing Clea.
right. It's just,
What a
well
crazy
then
difference in names.
the
I'm not
next
Leia, I'm Clea.
the next two
Yeah, I'm a
episodes
Bobo.
were really really good. And um
Well, the ending of that Luthen episode is like so sad. He's just like dead on that hospital bed, and like she
yeah,
had to kill him. She had to
yeah,
because they were gonna revive him. Clearly, they had the technology to
yeah,
revive him and to get all the information. And I'm sure he even told her like, "You have to kill me." Like,
yeah, he would have wanted that. Yeah.
yeah, but I do like later on in the episode, like she's all depressed on Yavin, and
Hmm.
but then you see the she not like that he didn't die in vain. Like she sees like the rebel army and
Yeah.
everything, like, and it's like he's like one of the reasons why he's like one of the main reasons, if not the reason
Yes.
we're even all here, and he'll be forgotten. So, she clearly she lives on. We don't know what happens to her character. Maybe I could see her character showing up in something else,
I
or
could,
that's
yeah.
it. I don't know. At the same time, I'm like, I don't want her showing up in like Mandalorian movie. It's gonna be
No.
weird. It's like all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, Grogu, so cute."
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
like in this serious show to like
some
more
guy
about this.
today was talking about how a Saw Gerrera series would make sense. And
Oh, I don't need to see that.
yeah, that again,
You need to fight. You have to. You'll live. Wait,
I love that
my throat hurts
character.
now. I just didn't wait. You're living it. You're here right now. You're fighting. You're here. You're here right
um
now. Like I don't need to see a whole show of that. No, he's good in
he was a good
small.
character. I don't need to
You go
see
back.
more of him.
So I did go back and watch Rogue One.
I did
To be
too. Yeah.
so I will say, just like the good parts in the Clone Wars makes people think that the prequels are good movies. I always had like a mixed bag feeling about Rogue One.
Yeah.
Love the ending. The scene with the Death Star is brutal when it just quickly shows up and just blows up. Or like when you see it in the horizon,
Yeah.
it's like it looks like the moon or something, but massive
Yes. Yeah.
sky, and it's just like so scary. And then it like blows them up. I love when the laser shoots though. The laser first hits the tower before
Yeah.
it hits the surface, killing Krennic like on the way because Krennic was up there. And
Yeah.
Krennic is like just sees it, so that part of that tower gets shot, and then it hits the water, and then it just blows up like more. It does more damage, I guess, than like what they did on Jeddah when they were
Yeah.
stealing all the kyber
But I
crystals.
think they'd
Basically,
refined the
they
Death
blew up the
Star.
city. They blew up the city. What?
I think they had refined the Death Star. They got better at it.
Well, they were testing it. That's why when in Star Wars, when they shoot Alderaan, that's the first time they're doing that. That's when they said this thing is now finally fully
Hmm.
operational, and that's when they do the
Yeah. True.
actual shooting, and they blew up Alderaan. I don't know. Like Rogue One to me now is like better just in that. Okay, I got to know like all these characters. I saw people complaining like, why didn't we have what's her name? Jin? No, what's the woman from Rogue One?
Bix. Know about
Bex isn't in
Bix?
Rogue One.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jin Urso or
Yeah,
something.
the female lead, right?
Yeah, like they're like she should have been in the show. Like there's some like it
Oh,
doesn't make
yeah.
any sense. Like why would they go get her? Even though like in this
Mm,
show they do mention Urso, they do mention him.
yeah.
But I don't know. I guess there's just some like who gives I don't care.
When I watched Rogue One, I was like a couple times I found myself like, hey, wait a minute, why? I was like, well, what about the sequence? And um, but ultimately it didn't matter too much because I thought the big thing, it made Rogue One a lot more interesting and a lot more plausible. And I didn't love the character of Andor in Rogue One.
He wasn't
I
really. He was just like a kind of a piece of shit. Like
he was just like,
he helps her in the end. He's
yeah.
heroic. But when you watch Andor, it makes more sense.
It makes a ton more
It makes
sense.
sense
Yeah.
why he would be heroic because he was heroic. He was
Yeah.
heroic in Andor, but it makes sense. Like, okay, when you introduce the character and he kills that guy who was shot,
Right. Yeah.
the guy gives him the information. He's like, I can't run, and he's like, oh, don't worry, and he just shoots
Right. And
him.
then he kills him.
And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, because he kind of learned that from Luthen. Like
Well,
he
yeah, well,
Luthen did shit like that. We see Luthen do that. Like people, I saw people were genuinely upset that Luthen killed that Imperial because he did didn't he? I guess the guy had a family and
yeah,
had
he had a
kids
wife and a daughter, and
and
he's
no,
like,
he was always supposed to be like taken to like Yavin or
yeah.
something. Like
Well, this is another one that's kind of like Handmaid's Tale, where you have different ways of fighting a rebellion. You know, everyone's got like their own idea, and
or even
Luthen,
like The Last of Us when the guy's like, we shouldn't do this. And
yeah,
he's like,
right.
are you fucking nuts?
The
They're gonna fucking kill these people. Like they're gonna
even
keep doing it.
Mon Mothma, even who had like a soft spot for Luthen, was like, Luthen's caused us a lot of trouble. You know, he just has because of
Yeah,
his
but Luthen's the
methods.
reason why we're all here.
You got to
Like,
get shit done. Like
and they
Luthen's the one who
well,
got
there's a
shit done.
scene. Okay, so there's a scene that's really good, and in Rogue One, it's fine, but there's more depth to the scene now because there's a part when like they go, oh, when they're on, they get captured by Saw Gerrera, but he
Yeah,
plays that hologram of her father, but they had to escape, and he gets all pissed, and he's like, "You lost it," and she's like, "I saw
right,
it.
right.
We were like running. I don't know, like she didn't have the hologram," and he was freaking out because he knew how they all were.
Yeah,
And if he didn't have that hologram, then that people weren't going to believe him. They're not going to like
yeah.
give
You
us the
need the
weapon.
evidence.
You need the evidence. So it was like there was more. There was just a lot more context. Not to say that like a movie should stand on its own, but like now that Andor exists, there's more context. There's more
Yeah.
layers to it. Everything like how again, you could watch Rogue One. You don't need to see Andor.
No, you don't.
You
But
don't
like,
need to see like the way Andor's the last episode ends. You kind of do need to see Rogue One. I mean, it kind
yeah,
of it doesn't really have a definitive
it
end.
doesn't. The definitive
Like
ending was launching into Rogue One
yeah,
because you saw,
just like how
uh,
Rogue One launches right into Star Wars,
right.
like
Yes.
Leia escaping and Darth Vader,
Yeah.
like
Theoretically, you
cool
could
hanging over that
watch.
thing, and it's like yeah, that's the beginning of Star Wars. Is the fucking Star Destroyer chasing the Rebel blockade
Yeah.
runner?
Theoretically, you could watch the last three episodes of Andor season two, Rogue One, and A New Hope, and it would more or less be one seamless story.
Like three
Like,
movies almost.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty. I mean, basically, um, yeah. I thought
yeah. I mean, that's
the
kind of interesting. I'm sure it was designed that way. In a way. Were you the one who told me or something like they're gonna edit like
yes, I've read this a couple different places, and to the point where I believe it, that they're going to re-release Rogue One in the theaters, and they're going to pair it with an Andor movie, which will basically be an edit of the last
the
several
entire
episodes of
series?
Andor. No, no, like if I read it right, it would be like episodes uh 10, 11, and 12 of season two, repackaged and maybe with some other footage from other
Show like the flashbacks of him as a kid, maybe.
something like that, and it's supposed to be
Like
two movies.
they even did a good job of like so like in the last couple episodes you see this ball like this guy with like a shaved head who's like Andor's like I don't know, he seems like a buddy of his or a
Yeah,
co-pilot or something. He's in Rogue One, that guy. He's one of the soldiers, so there's like more context.
yeah, yeah.
I guess and they bring up Jeddah, I think. They bring up all the stuff.
Yep, they do. um
I will say though, going back and watching Rogue One, yeah, Grand Moff Tarkin looked fucking weird. Didn't
oh,
work.
awful.
They
Yeah,
need to do like a patch on that. They should have just hired a different actor.
yeah.
Whatever. I will say, you know what my favorite characters are in the show?
Oh,
I don't even think he's evil. I don't think he's like a muhaha villain. He's just like a fucking technocrat. Um, the guy who's like the middle manager for like all the what are they called? What was Deidre? What was her title?
like is something, what was it? It
Well, he
wasn't
was like their
I.
manager, the guy who was
Yeah,
like in the center of the room.
right. Yeah.
The guy from
um
Game of Thrones. He played the guy who brought the wall back to life or something.
yeah.
The mountain back to life. He was like that mystic doctor or whatever in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like I don't know, there's something about that character, like, because he like, so Krennic was clearly like he wants to keep getting promoted, and you could tell
Right.
that guy's like, I don't give a fuck about this shit at all. Like,
Yeah.
you could tell, like, he's like a character from The Office or something. Like, he doesn't even want to be there. Like, he could go work anywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do. I believe that. Like, his character was like, he did. I don't think he was like evil. Like, he's evil by association. But I thought he was like, no, he's just some like middle manager.
Yeah.
You
It
know what I'm
was the
talking about, right?
it was the yes, the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau
Yeah, and he was
was
like the head of it or something. And
yeah.
I just found his character kind of interesting because it showed like, yeah, like he could have done this with the Republic.
Yeah, a lot of the people that were working for the Empire were probably just like, I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
like.
along with it.
I
You
don't
know
want
what
to
I
get
mean?
killed. I don't want to be put on a wall.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like a lot of them may not have thought about it too much because like it had been the Republic, which was a perfectly, I mean, a dysfunctional government, but it was like a noble government. And then all of a sudden it's like now the Empire, I mean, what does
Yeah,
that mean?
yeah.
Like,
The Empire wasn't that old.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like when you watch Star Wars, you think like the Empire is like around longer. You don't know. You don't know.
no, they
Yeah,
just
you
had the
find out it's only been
infrastructure of the
around like,
Republic.
it's literally like, it's not even, fuck. It's literally like three
Yeah.
senator terms. Like
Yeah.
18 years. It's not that long a time, really. I mean,
Yeah,
fuck.
when Luke Skywalker was a child, there probably was still the Republic.
No, it was the Empire already at that point. I mean, it's basically the Empire the minute the Emperor says that this is the Galactic Empire in the third movie. Luke's not even born yet.
But it's not that much later. I mean, it's not like,
No, it's not much later,
yeah.
but it is the Empire's
Yeah,
already.
you're right. I mean,
I guess the thing you learn about, and I guess it gets mentioned in like either Rogue One or mentioned in Star Wars, that the Emperor dissolves the Senate, and it's
mhm,
probably because of Mon Mothma and her little
yeah,
trying to sneak
little
in,
outburst.
break the narrative. What?
Your little outburst.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's like anything else
Well, the big weird ending for me was Dedra wound up at that prison.
Well, I thought that was okay. That's what I was gonna bring up. I said I found it interesting when you watch Rogue One.
Mhm.
I mean, Moff Tarkin just totally shits on Krennic.
Yeah,
And Krennic tries to go to Darth Vader, and Darth Vader's like, "Do not choke on your
yeah,
missions," or something. I don't know. The James L. Jones voice, but like
right.
sounding like a really old man. You think they
Yeah.
would have fucked with that a little more? I guess they didn't have like AI yet or something,
Mhm.
to like modify his voice.
Yeah,
Because he does. He sounds like an old man in that
he
scene, like
does.
an old man doing the voice of Vader. It's like, um,
Jim Backus.
what
Like Jim Backus,
was that?
the guy who played Mr. Howell on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, yeah. Those later years were sad when he was like, yeah, yeah. They had a
Lummy.
stroke, half his face is drooping. Scientist is like, here, drink this coconut.
Who was? I'm gonna look up the voice. It was Howie Mandel. That's so weird. I'm just
No,
kidding.
yeah. Who played what?
Who played the voice of Darth Vader in Rogue
Yeah, yeah, Howie
One?
Mandel. He had the Bobby voice. Oh,
um,
Sith Lord. I don't
yeah,
know.
I think the Dedra
So
character wound me.
Krennic, I just found it funny because like the way Moff Tarkin gets treated by like the higher ups, he
Mhm.
was doing that to Dedra.
Yeah, yeah,
He would do that to her. And like, because it's funny when you see him in the other scenes, like he's not really respected by the higher ups. He's kind of
no,
pathetic. Moff Tarkin just totally steps on him, takes credit for the fucking Death Star.
yep, yeah,
Um, Vader doesn't give a shit. Like, I don't time for this nonsense. Go away.
yeah,
And then he gets killed by the fucking Death Star, which is kind of funny.
very
Karma.
poetic.
You
Yeah,
got killed by the thing you wanted so bad. But he it's interesting when you see him in the ISB, he's more threatening to them because he is a higher up.
yeah.
So and Deidre, when he fucking puts his hand
Oh my God, yeah.
finger, it's interesting. Her character has like PTSD. She can't handle shit. Like, she, Because even when he does that to her, she's like, "Rrr."
Well, she was raised in like a government kindergarten camp because both of her
And
parents are
again, don't
criminals or
think about the
something.
timing because she's not 20 years old. No way. That
No,
woman,
no, but I'm
no
just saying,
offense, I'm
like,
not saying that. This woman is not 20 years old. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah. Well, anyway, that was like a very awful and fitting end for her character.
Well,
Like
it
she
showed
gets,
that like there's some symbolism. Like
yeah,
she
yeah,
basically her whole life was in service to the Empire, and then in the end, the Empire is gonna spit you out. Doesn't give a
yeah.
fuck. You you made your bed and ate it. Like you thought you couldn't climb up, and it's just someone else took credit for your work, and then they just chewed you up and put
Yeah.
you to work somewhere else. And yeah, I wouldn't like. Would I want to see her character again? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if we need to see any of these characters again. I feel like they all serve their purpose, you know?
I think in a weird sort of way, I think almost the point is that you never see these characters again. That these were the, like, I know and you posted it too or sent me a TikTok or whatever, like at the end of episode 4 where Chewie and Han and Luke get medals for saving the rebellion.
Oh, that's like
And
the funniest. Yeah, when you see Rogue One and you see Andor, it brings
yeah,
new context. Yeah, it was that writer. You had like a really funny scene. He's like, "Yeah, it's a fucking a farm boy, a
yeah.
space trucker, and a space Sasquatch get medal. Well, it's a space
Yeah,
Sasquatch get a medal.
didn't get a
Like
medal,
all
but
these people who like suffered to do these things, and these people literally show up in the last
well,
minute of the. If Andor is like a year long, like the whole thing's a year
right.
long, they literally show up a half hour before New Year's Eve and be like, "Hey guys, this year was great." Let's and they take
Yeah.
credit for everything.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think that's
obviously Luke was the only one that could shoot a
sure.
yeah, whatever.
Used to shoot womp rats that size. And well, I think that's kind of the point is that like real life rebellions, all these people were anonymous and they all died. No one will ever remember their names. Maybe someone will remember Andor's name because Mon Mothma knew of him. And I mean, like you might hear a story or two, but like all like Bix will probably die happy alone on a farm
Someone
planet
that
with
kept
her.
on thinking that the baby she was holding was Poe Dameron,
Oh,
but it's
oh,
not. They established in the lore that he is the product of two rebels. He's a
okay.
kid, but it wasn't those characters. Like they
Well,
the Battle Jakku and stuff like
I
that.
just think the point is that all these people are anonymous. You'll never the good and the bad guys.
There's
You'll that
people who help shape things and they get no credit for it. And
right.
unfortunately, but not everybody
Like
gets credit. They just were doing the right thing at the time.
there were plenty
And
of people in World War II on the good and bad side
what are
that
you, Donald Trump? There's
were
good and
very
bad people
well.
on
No,
both
no,
sides.
on the
Not
good
everybody.
side, the U.S. and on the bad side, but there were plenty of people on the good and bad side that were like,
Was the U.S. on the good side?
yeah, that did
I
their
guess so.
job and
Yeah,
then they
yeah. Even though they
died.
imprisoned a bunch of Japanese in internment
Yeah,
camps, they refused the Jewish
that
refugees.
wasn't
Jewish
like,
refugees
yeah,
were shipped back and murdered in the Dead Sea.
yeah. I think well, anyway, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, I
in
understand what you
speaking
mean.
broadly speaking,
Yes,
that
brothers, it's not good. If you go into depth, you're like, oh
yeah.
shit.
Well, but you don't really see much nuance on the Nazi side. Like like you can
I
see
don't know
plenty
the way
of
people are today. Like, I had this like one joke I want to do.
yeah,
Professional comedian. You
yes,
know that. I had this like one joke I want to do that's like discussing like Elon Musk. Like, hey, it's been like almost 6 months since this guy
right,
did like literal Nazi salutes, and I say, I as disturbing as it was, what I find really disturbing about it was that there's a good portion of this country that like defended him.
yeah,
Like something that should be so blatantly obvious wrong, and there's people defending him. And I said like they'd be like, oh, that was just like a Roman salute, or he was just like giving his
sure.
heart out. That wasn't a traditional sea cop. But then like the whole joke is like, then like when no one's looking, he like looks at Mike. He's like, yeah, we knew what he was doing.
Right,
Yeah, we all knew. Yeah, we were told we in our 4chan,
right, yeah,
whatever it's called. Yeah, I jacked off to Elon giving the see Kyle 16 times. One hand jacking off, the other hand reading Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of Republicans were jerking it that Mike Johnson's son's phone was probably just lit up with alerts
And so is
from
Mike Johnson's
yes.
son. They're like what was that movie with Cheech Marin and
Oh yeah.
John where they play like twins and they feel each other's like pain or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's feel each other's I don't know, jerking off or something.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson and his son. Weird
Well,
creeps.
it
Uh,
was a good I loved Andor seasons 1 and 2.
there's more to go into, but
Yeah.
I don't know, like the rescue operation to save what's her face? Mon Mothma was great.
Yep.
I felt like they were trying to like set something up with like Mon Mothma. Is that like supposed to be her cousin or her sister? The one who's in the rebellion. You find out she's Mon Mothma's
Oh yeah.
like she's introduced in those early episodes in the first
Yeah.
Andor joins that crew with the guy from the band.
Yep.
And then you find out that she's like Mon Mothma's like relative or sister or cousin.
Yeah.
I kind of thought they were gonna set up like Clea and her in the end. Like
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Clea's like, I'm strictly dick talking about lady.
Well,
I'm from a never mind, let's stop there.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like I said, the ending, I get it because it just goes right in. Like I like when Krennic's looking out the window and you see the Death Star. Like
Yes.
but it definitely makes the Death Star even scarier. Like the whole
Oh
concept,
yeah.
like I said, that ending of Rogue One's so brutal because like the Empire didn't give a shit. There were stormtroopers that were killed down there.
Oh yeah.
Imperial officers that were killed down there. They didn't give a shit. They did like one friendly fire shot and blew up like
Yeah.
half that planet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, again, I think that's like the Deidre thing's such a good ending with her because it shows that, like, in the end, this is where you're going to end up. Like,
Right.
or if you're not in that prison, you'll be in some other shitty situation.
Yeah.
You will never, like, the Empire is designed to be shitty.
Yeah. It is. The manifesto, that speech, I thought was really great. The one, I forget who wrote it, but where like Andor was reading it, and they were just talking about like how the Empire's doomed to fail because freedom is so natural that it takes so much energy to stop it.
Well,
You
that's
know?
what's going on with this administration
Yeah.
trying to take rights away. And it's like, you can't take rights away. Like, once, like, people, it takes forever to get those rights.
Yep.
Once you take those rights away, you're gonna piss off people.
Yeah. Well, not enough people are pissed off right now.
No, well, that's because it's called propaganda, and people are not smart enough to understand that they're being
Well,
that the podcasts they watch are actually propped up by right-wing billionaires.
I'll tell you, the Trump bill that got passed by the House and is now getting voted on in the Senate is filled with horrible, horrible shit.
Yeah, it like cuts Medicaid and a whole bunch
But
of
it's
things.
all set to occur after midterms. So
if the Democrats take the House, they can't switch it.
I don't know, but the first thing, I don't know. That is a good question.
Oh yeah, because then they could pretend like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, and the Republicans, if they retain the House and Senate, it's like
if the Republicans retain, then they get to keep this horrible bill. If the Democrats,
the Democrats
take over,
fucking be scaring the shit out of everybody. Not scaring shit, just saying like, hey, these guys.
Someone said that they should, every time someone puts a camera on a Democrat, they should say, look, your Medicaid is gone in 64 days. Your Medicaid is gone in 62.
Cory Booker vote for? They were saying like, what was he voted for something, and he was like one of the only Dems in the Senate. Was it this bill? I don't know. He voted for something, and people were like,
it wasn't this bill because the Senate
performative bullshit. Like
Senate hasn't voted yet. I don't know. I all these.
He voted for something that made no sense. Like he did that performative thing for like 25 hours.
Yeah.
That you find out really had like no, except for like, I don't know, some media stuff, really didn't have like an impact on anything. And then he voted for something that he really shouldn't have. And it's like, well, clearly this was all bullshit. Cause like, why would you, I don't know. I gotta see.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's it's real disappointing.
Yeah. But let's look this up real quick.
Yeah.
Why did Cory Booker vote to confirm Jared Kushner's dad? That was it.
That was it. Yeah.
Jared Kushner's
Fucking
dad in jail?
he was pardoned by Trump.
Why would he vote for him? Why
Yeah.
would he vote for him? Like, no Democrat should be voting for anything anymore. This is it. Done. You're done. You're not
Yeah.
voting for shit. Let the Republicans dangle. They don't get to fuck off. Let them have to govern. Let them have you guys go fuck off and start planning how you gotta take the fucking House back and how you take the Senate back
Yeah.
in next November. Like the fuck. I don't know. So what does this bill do? This horrible bill?
It's just a bill that basically makes Trump's tax cuts permanent. It opens up like public land for private use. It does like a lot of shitty things.
Yeah, it's
But
bullshit.
then one of the biggest thing it does is it guts Medicaid, like just guts it. And then for things like food stamps and for all these others, social programs, it puts it puts like work requirements on people. It just really
It's
does a
like a
number on.
Republican wish list, basically.
It is. It's basically that Project
Did any Democrats
2025.
vote for it, or was it 100% down the line just Republican?
I don't know. I think it was 100% down the line. But what they're saying is that Jerry Connolly dying the other day made it real easy for them to pass it. And I know this is the last thing, or now it's the last thing we're talking about. But like over the last couple months, 8 Democrats have
We could
died.
just talk about it now and then go to
Yeah, 8
car.
Democrats have died, and anyone in a
How
Republican
many months? I
state.
mean, well, one of the people I saw in the picture, I didn't read the article, but one of the people in the picture was Feinstein, but she died like 2 years ago.
Well, the last 8 who have died, I think it's only been like 3 or 4 since the election, but still, that's like one of them died
Were they all
in.
old people?
Yeah, but not like crazy old. Like one was like 70. I mean, like I don't know what you consider old anymore. Like 70's old, I'm sure, but
George
like
Wendt died.
yeah, but like
76.
people all the time, like there's plenty of 70-year-olds that are like really in good shape and alert and healthy and
Well, I mean, people, not everything's fair, and some
yeah.
people either didn't take care of themselves, ate like shit, did drugs,
Well,
or they just have genetics that, like,
so
there's
this
healthy people, you're like, they'll just like drop dead, and you're like, what the fuck happened? Like,
well, this Democratic congressman in a Democratic district in Texas died, and Greg Abbott's just like, oh, we're not going to have a vote. You're not going to have a congressman for a little
well,
while,
of course, Greg Abbott's going to do that because Greg
So
Abbott, but I
I don't
mean, New
know.
York will get a new one. So the fucked up thing is the guy who died recently, he
Yeah,
died like what, like a day, 2 days ago, whatever.
yeah.
What was his name?
Jerry Connolly, I believe.
He was used. So there was some position or something that AOC was vying for,
Yeah,
and they basically gave it to this guy, and everybody was like, "All right." Besides the fact that clearly he's like a crony or whatever in the party, why would you pick this guy who has like
yeah.
he had like a cancer and he was old and I don't know, and like AOC's charismatic, speaks well, loud, projects. It's like I still think that, like, unlike the Republican Party, which is just all straight up fascist, Democrats are an interesting thing in that there's placating liberals in the center
Yeah,
that their job is to keep people just their job is to also fund corporations, and they are. It's a fact. It just
yeah.
is. I would prefer them over Republican.
Yeah, there's plenty
Which
of
is
corporate
that,
Democrats. I
but
mean,
I think that I don't even know what I was gonna say.
yeah,
I just I feel like someone like that guy who died is designed in a way that he's been there long enough. He was probably in the pocket of like certain industries. And that's why these people don't leave because they're being paid to stay. And also part of it too is what they do. And if they die, what else are they gonna fucking do? I mean,
yeah,
if they die, of course, what are they gonna do? Nothing, they're dead. No, I mean like if they leave government, what else are they going to do? But
Right.
I think all of it, some of it is like, no, they serve a certain thing, and that's how they keep getting in office. And that's why they don't want people like AOC
Right.
because it scares the shit out of them
Well,
because these people are getting older and they're going to start dropping like flies or they're going to want to retire.
yeah.
And the AOC is going to like take over the party.
I hope so. I mean, I like AOC a whole bunch, and I like a lot of the younger ones. It's got to be, yeah. The Democrats haven't done themselves any favors with keeping their party structure the way it is. Now, I will say, when Democrats are in charge, they generally get shit done for the same reason, because they have a bunch of people working together that are on the same page, and it gets
They
done.
actually give a shit about civic duty and
Yeah.
civic, they're actually want government to function for the people in a way.
So I'm not 100% sure of the best way forward, but those midterms are coming up soon. Very soon we're going to start to see people running. It's probably the election for the midterms is it's like 12, it's like 15 months away or so, you know.
Yeah.
So that's going to feel like a long time, because every day under Trump feels like a year. Um, but I don't know. I mean, that's the only hope we have, is that the Democrats A, win, and then B, that they run a decent candidate for presidency, and that the next Democratic administration uses all the precedents Trump has set to do the same thing, but in reverse. So, yeah. Um, but in the meantime, Trump is on like just a global crime spree. We were going to talk about that Qatar jet.
It's
He
insane. But you
they
find out that the government, it's not this like, oh, here's a gift. Oh, look,
No.
we got this free plane. There we go. And he's like, no, they still have to sink in like millions of tax dollars,
Well,
millions, if not more, to upgrade the plane and make it.
not even that. It wasn't even a gift per se. Trump suggested to them that they give him the plane.
It's like he's like a mafia guy. Where's my
Yeah.
slice? I like a
It
slice. I like a bigger slice. I think I
yeah.
deserve a
Like
slice of that
Richie
pie.
Aprile in The Sopranos.
No, that's
Um,
exact. I like the gabagoo.
yeah. Well, I'll
So
tell you,
he suggested it to him. So he
yes.
basically, oh, did you see? He was I don't know if it was the leader of South Africa or whatever. I don't
Yeah, yeah. The
interview.
president.
And he made this funny joke. He's like, I don't
Yeah,
have anything for you. I'm just here to do my job. I don't know. It was really
yeah. He
he was
said, I don't have a plane or something like
he
that.
just fucking put Trump in his place a bit. He didn't know how to respond to that.
Yeah. Well, I'll
That
tell
was a good
you,
fucking dig.
yeah,
Oh, that was it. He was like telling these because the thing the right wing has been pushing, and by right wing I mean Joe Rogan, all
yeah.
these people have been pushing that South African white farmers are being killed left and right
Yeah.
by evil black
It's
people.
the photos Trump used were from the Congo. They weren't from South Africa. Like
I
all
don't
this,
know. It's all the same.
people are saying,
People are saying in the Congo Bongo. I used to play
yeah.
that game in the arcade, Congo Bongo. It's kind of a derivative of Donkey Kong. It's almost the same platform.
Well,
A little harder, a little harder.
he it's just so naked that he has like stopped immigration from every place on the planet except the whitest part of South. I mean,
I like how is this not racist in any like
yeah,
who it's like a joke. It's not, it's like so ridiculously racist. But I
yeah,
love that again. I just thought that was great that South African the president just being he's like, none of this is happening. What the fuck are you talking about? Basically.
yeah,
He was showing him like the images. He's like,
yeah. That's not my country.
yeah,
What you talking
well
about?
that and he's like, it's not happening too. But he pushes it anyway. Because it's a
Yeah.
conspiracy the right's been pushing for years now about South Africa being like constantly under all these poor innocent white people being attacked all the time and
Mm.
fucking stupid. Okay, yeah, so the card thing is just like beyond corruption.
It's real big.
It's
Yeah.
like this shit should not be acceptable. It should not be. Like if we allow this to keep going, we're fucked. We're toast. We're
Yeah.
cooked.
Yeah.
Like we have no like. Okay, I guess Kristi Noem.
Yeah, Kristi Noem, she's a cool. I'm honestly stunned after she shot a puppy in the face. I'm surprised that she got in the administration. She did. She looks just like such a ghoulish cartoon character. Uh,
Yeah,
like
they want to do
a
that
circus
reality
clown.
show, which is basically just sounds like fucking Running Man, where they put like immigrant
Yeah, the
so
reality show where they take like 30 immigrants and one of them gets to stay in the US.
the other ones are
Um,
assassinated, like they are in Running Man.
yeah.
You know what my favorite part of Running Man was?
Hmm,
Like it's in the end when they cut the signal and they replay like the commercial where uh the talk show host, the game show
yeah.
host is talking about the previous winners and
Mm-hmm.
they show the pictures of them in Hawaii and they're all like, that
Yeah.
was fun. And then like, but then they cut it. He's like, and look at them over here. And they show the real footage of their burnt, crisp
Yeah.
bodies. That was so good. That Running Man is like a
It's a good.
perfect movie in that like how AI will be used to distort reality.
Yeah.
Like the way they were because I remember like watching Running Man, they show the footage, this doctored footage when Arnold being the villain actually
Right.
entering
Yeah.
on the helicopter. And then you find out it's complete that is not what happened at all. I don't know. I
Yeah. That is real prescient, I think.
no,
I
but
don't
that was I just remember watching it as a kid, the Running Man. I was like, how the fuck did it do that? And
yeah.
I was like, you see that with AI, obviously, but
Well, the Kristi Noem is is just ghoulish. The more and more ghoulish. This is the Secretary of Homeland Security tonight. I saw this right before we started recording. Um, tonight, someone said something about the immigrants Trump wrongfully deported, and she just gets on Twitter and tweets the word "suck it." As the Secretary of Homeland Security.
fuck, what a joke.
It's just, I mean, it's like,
It's so pathetic. It's like you're not Trump. No one respects you. I'm sorry. You're not only Trump can get away with this stupid shit. Like
yeah,
you shouldn't be
she
allowed
looks
to
like
get it.
an
You shouldn't be allowed to
inflatable
get away with
doll
this
or something.
What?
She looks like a real doll, like a
He's
poorly
like
made real
fucking
doll.
what's her face? That's like which one's worse? Her or fucking
Oh, Kristi Noem.
yeah, I it's
Kristi
funny. It
Noem's,
used to be like Marjorie Taylor Greene and like uh Lauren Boebert, but I feel
yeah,
like no one gives a fuck about those people. And
Bobert's just sort of vanished. I don't know what. I'm
I
sure she
think she's
still
just
sucks,
like, I
but
keep, I'm gonna shut the fuck up, keep getting reelected. I don't have to do my job. I'll just keep showing up at like Mar-a-Lago, cashing checks.
yeah, Bobert, if she keeps her mouth shut, I'll bet you she has a nice long run in it. Because
I
she,
hope she loses because I follow the woman that ran against her. She's
yeah,
running again. She's like, I'm gonna
good.
keep, you know, she, these fucking idiots that voted for her.
Well,
It just blew my
we'll
mind.
see. I mean, like, I don't, I don't know what the next election's going to be like, or if there's
If
going to be a next
people, I heard
election.
people say like, oh, with everything going on, the people are gonna just get revenge on the Republicans, and I'm
Well, I
like,
don't know.
I don't believe that at all. They'll come up with some conspiracy. They'll start doing it in the beginning, in the end of this year. They'll come up with some conspiracy, God knows
Yeah,
what, attacking some trans thing or whatever.
or a war. Who
And yeah, and
knows?
they'll, oh yeah, oh, I could totally see him starting a war. Um, and then they'll like grow it from there. Like
Yeah,
it's so like yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I could see them still winning Republicans. I could see people, they have memories of flies. They're not going to remember, like, if they're like, if they're
yeah.
fine, they'd have to be
Well,
in such a shitty position to
but
not vote
that's
for
the thing
Trump.
is
And
that you could see, like, if the farmers get fucked, if like veterans lose the VA clinics, like you could see enough people losing to make it happen. But
yeah.
we'll see.
Well,
We'll
did you
see.
see Trump like freaking out on like Walmart? Because Walmart now
Yeah,
is going to have to raise their prices. And
right.
Trump's like, no, you don't. And it's like, okay, good on him for saying that, but that's not why he's doing that. It's like, because if Walmart raises, the biggest store in the country raises their prices, he's going to get blamed and he doesn't want any of
Yeah.
it. He wants.
Well, and it makes clear the whole lie. Like, wait a minute, I thought these other countries would be paying the tariffs. What do you mean American companies are paying these tariffs? Like, I don't know.
We're paying the tariffs.
Yeah, we are paying the tariffs. Yeah.
Like Walmart, I'm sorry, maybe for like certain goods they could jack up the price. You could make an argument. The same thing with like Target or these stores. Okay, TVs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something that's like not considered a necessity. But food, no, you should not be allowed to raise the price.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
fucking eat that shit for a month. Eat
Well,
that shit for a month. Like Trader Joe's, like I go there all the time. They haven't raised their price. I think they might raise the egg prices like minuscule, like not even a dollar.
yeah.
But I was talking to someone about one of the workers there, and he's like, "Please, sir, stop talking to me. Go away." You remember that guy from the Cosby Show that like I don't know, someone took a picture and caught it. Like they were trying to like do like this mean thing on him because he was working at Trader Joe's. He ended up getting a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like he was in The Last of Us. It was the oldest daughter's husband. And
Yeah.
that's yeah.
I do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's in 3 episodes of Always Philly, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right.
And each episode connects to each other. It's like brilliant. Like
Huh.
it like a weird and they're over
Yeah.
a couple of years, but this character shows up in all 3 of the episodes. And
That's funny.
if you watch all 3, they're telling like a story of this character who like a little bit of a story.
Oh, that's cool.
Played by that guy. I don't even know what the fuck I'm even saying now. What were we talking about?
Well, we were wrapping up the Kristi Noem
Oh,
stuff and moving on into to Springsteen. But do you have any more Kristi Noem insight?
I don't even know where I was going.
Yeah.
I'm a little on that. I'm a little exhausted. I'm starting to melt. No, what the
Yeah.
fuck was I talking about? I don't know why I even brought up the guy working at Trader Joe's. I'm like,
Oh, we're talking about prices. Prices going
oh,
up.
prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking to someone at Trader Joe's, and I said, what I like about you guys is you're kind of eating the cost. And the guy doesn't give a shit. He works.
Yeah.
He's the one doing it. But he said that, like, yeah, we just sell out on things quick. That's it. It's just
Yeah.
like eggs. They only allow you to take 1 carton at a time,
Yeah.
unless you're in a very good disguise.
Mm.
Like if I were to get an egg thing, and I'm like, oh, I got some more. I'm gonna go like this. Hello.
Right.
I put my finger over my beard, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Just
would
go
like
in.
to partake in your eggs. And then the next one's like me on top of like in a trench coat, like
Yeah.
giant 9 foot tall person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Springsteen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. That's what I was saying. I'm like again. I'm like a little spaced out right now, but like I went to Target not too long ago, and they basically like were clearancing out their eggs because it's like no one wanted to pay 10, $11 for your
Yeah.
fucking eggs. A store like that, same thing with Walmart, they should eat the fucking cost. Now, Trump saying that, like I said, yeah, it's great he said that, but you know it, he doesn't give a
Yeah.
fuck about it.
Yeah.
But if like Walmart starts raising their prices, the Republicans are fucked in the.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
No, fucking Walmart should absorb those fucking costs. Eat it.
Well, they put enough money to get Trump elected. They should keep whatever.
Trump's like, don't raise the prices, please.
Mm.
They'll all say I'm a liar. I'm really concerned about being called a liar. I never lie. I'm a very honest person. It hurts
Yeah.
me. I'm an empath.
Oh
Donald Trump is an empath.
God.
I did a joke, and this one got no response.
Hmm.
Well, it got a little bit. I said, we live in this partisan times. It's really,
Yeah.
you argue with people over like, is the sky blue or purple? It's like,
Right.
you can't. But I said, but I know we could all come together on one thing as Americans, and that is that Donald Trump has a vagina for a neck. No one laughed at that. I was
That's
like,
pretty
are
funny.
you fucking kidding? But I did say when he goes on TV, he has to pixelate his neck, get his neck pixelated, and that got laughs, that one. Let's see, what else did I say? Oh, that it's seen things and done stuff. This vagina. I think it's a joke. I don't think I'm gonna use this one again, but it said like babies so disgusted by Donald Trump's neck have decided to come out the asshole.
Sounds like a William S. Burroughs bit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the asshole typewriter or
Yeah,
whatever.
the asshole who could talk. And then,
Um, God.
yeah.
Well, no, I had another one. Oh, Donald Trump, because of his neck vagina. If Donald Trump
Yeah.
gets choked out by somebody, is he getting grabbed by the pussy? That's a good one, right?
That is a good one. Well, yes.
Donald
Moving
Trump.
on from
Donald Trump's
um
neck vagina did not give me the response I want. I don't know.
yeah.
I have to figure out how to discuss it. Oh, that was the last one. And then we'll move on. The last one is Donald Trump. He does, he if anything, he's probably like anti-trans, but his neck disagrees because it has a vagina for a neck.
Nice. All right. Bruce Springsteen. The I guess Bruce Springsteen's been on tour for a little while. He's touring Europe, and Republicans are all outraged that he's criticizing Donald Trump while abroad. I don't really know
Oh, fuck
why
off.
they're I mean, like
The
it's
distraction is in as the Republicans
yeah,
vote to remove. Can I say something? The way you're positioned right now, there's something
yeah.
behind you, and it makes it look like you have like this weird collar. All right, it was the white shirts behind you,
Oh
but like
yeah,
when you're
I see.
positioned in the middle, it like goes around you, like you're wearing
That's
some
funny,
weird
yeah.
fancy lad thing from the 17th century. Like, oh, did you get to the recital?
Yeah. Look, it's
The
my
white.
my handmaid's thing.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. The handmade thing. You have like a little black mole in the corner, like.
funny. Um, yeah,
So yeah, the Springsteen thing is just
yeah.
fucking idiotic.
It is. Springsteen's always been real left leaning. I remember he campaigned for John Kerry. He did a big free
This
concert in Madison.
you sure that was him? I thought that was Bon Jovi.
Bon
That did
Jovi may
that.
have also done that, but I remember Bruce Springsteen did his song "The Rising."
He was great on
Uh,
Curb this season. The last season,
yeah.
Curb to his house, he was great on that.
And I've Bruce Springsteen's from my hometown,
Yeah,
little Freehold, New Jersey.
Camden, New Jersey. Camden.
I remember my dad saw him at Federici's Pizza where he just slipped in for a pie. So Bruce Springsteen, and I read his book. I have all his records. I love Bruce Springsteen. A lot of stuff about him. And um
I think it's just a distraction. That's all
it
it is. It's
is.
like,
It
hey,
is.
everybody, and everybody that like likes Bruce Springsteen is like, shut the fuck up, like.
Well,
And if
the
you're like I hate those people like, oh, I didn't know you were political. It's like, well, clearly you're not
yeah.
a fan, actually.
When Rage Against the Machine covers your songs, you're pretty well assumed to be a leftist, like to some
Yeah.
extent. I would say it is a distraction, but I'll also say there's a serious side to this, is that the Trump administration, one of the first things they did is shut down all the newspapers and sue all the newspapers and tell all the news broadcasters they can't air critical, and they attack anyone who's critical. Anyone who's critical of them, they attack. And Bruce Springsteen is a big, famous international
Yeah,
star.
I mean, it's an easy, but I think he's well liked by lots of people from both sides of the
Yep.
aisle. It's
And
mainstream music at the end of the day, and I think this is the kind of shit that I think I just wish people would like wake the fuck up and be like, you know
but
what?
who
Talk
is
about Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen doesn't give a shit about this either. I'm more concerned about that you and your party voted to strip people of like all their benefits and
but
rights.
who is the only think of like who's the only who are the only people speaking up? Bruce Springsteen's one of like a half dozen I could name. Who else is speaking up?
Yeah.
Who else a famous wealthy
No,
person on
again, I think
national,
it's
they've
just
all
a
stopped.
distraction. It's like man, I totally forgot what I was gonna say, like something that else that they would focus on. Like that's a distraction.
Yeah.
Like keep your eye off the ball. And so yeah, what was it? I think it was like from the last election or something, like some bullshit. Uh
Mm,
and people just get so sucked into it. I just hope that like they don't fall into the trap.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's an American. He has every right to fucking say something about Trump. Deal with it,
Right.
fucking baby. What are you, anti-American? It's like,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
I mean, all right.
Notice Oklahoma religious ruling.
Yeah, this is a weird one. That Ryan, I think his name is Ryan Edwards, that asshole superintendent from Oklahoma, um, made he chartered an online Catholic school, and it was going to be a Catholic school that was completely
That's
paid for
weird.
by public tax dollars, and it could enforce its rules, meaning that you would have to be Catholic to attend there. You would have to like
Yeah.
abide by the Catholic faith and whatever. Um, and even the Oklahoma Supreme Court, which has 9 members on it, all of whom are ring wraiths.
Ring rates.
Even the
Go to the
Oklahoma
non-school.
even the Oklahoma Supreme Court was like, no, this is unconstitutional. So it's not Ryan Edwards, it's
chimed in.
Ryan Walters took this to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court shot him down, but it was 4-4. Crazy. Four of the justices voted that it could have been kept.
Yeah.
And just by sheer luck, it got shot down. The next Democrat who needs to stack the courts. That's 100%. I'm surprised Trump hasn't done it. Real
I think
surprised
he'll
Trump
do
hasn't
it
done it.
if the Republicans win the midterms, he'll definitely do it.
That could be.
Because if they win the midterms, it's game over completely. I mean, I feel like it's already game over. I think it's already. I think it's over. But I think
we'll see.
This is like the only chance, and the Democrats gotta win big. They can't. It can't be 2 seats. They gotta win. Like,
no, it's got to be like a blowout. It's got to be a blowout.
And they gotta win the Senate back.
Well, unfortunately for the Democrats, they keep dying. Which was our last topic.
We talked about that. Oh wait, no, we talked about no COVID shots.
Yeah, and there's not much to talk about here. And this, I'm not saying this.
Well, we already talked about this too a bit here.
Yeah, we did. But they got to stop dying.
And they got to stop dying. Is that people need to stop voting for like oxygenarians?
Yeah, get some younger candidates. So
let those people die the way die, drugs and
right,
something else.
So,
I don't know.
So that's it. That's the that's the show. So yeah, that's
yeah, it. I'm gonna like zonk
out. You're good. All right. So next week, I will say, and I don't know if we can talk about it next week. No, we can't. But very soon, in about a month, we get 28 Years Later comes out.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I doubt I'll see that in the theater. I don't care.
I don't think I'll see it in the theater, but I'm excited to see it. And then season 4 of The Bear drops soon.
Yes, I saw that. I saw the preview for that. That looks like it. Hopefully it's good. Is that supposed to be the last season too? Or is it
I think it's supposed to be the last season because that guy he's in a Bruce Springsteen biopic.
He's in the Mandalorian. He's playing Jabba's son.
Oh, okay.
You see him? He's like in a fighting pit. They only showed like a back view of him. He has a hut. He's jacked.
Huh.
It's played by the guy from The Bear, the main guy.
I'll check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like they show his arms up, and he's in a fighting pit.
Like, is he orange? Does he look like a Jabba the Hutt?
Jabba the Hutt's more green. I feel like the coloring. It depends. His coloring is like either like gold.
Yeah.
It's green. It's like what the fuck is it? What is it?
Yeah.
Think of lane. Like that dress. Is it gold or blue or something?
Yes. Yeah.
People are like it's clearly blue, and I'm like,
no,
I don't care. Fuck off. Like
no.
Yeah, I don't know the second part.
Well, we'll hit topics like this over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back next week.
Oh, is it? Yeah, Superman's coming up.
Yes, yeah.
4's coming up. July's gonna be a crazy month for that.
Yeah, it'll be real good.
Next week we'll have the last episode of Handmaid's Tale.
Yep.
Last episode of Last of Us also. Last episode of the season. Murderbot.
Yep, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And we're gonna go back to let's see, in the meantime, next week we'll be recording on Wednesday, right? Wednesday?
Yes, yeah, Wednesday.
To have it released Thursday.
Yes.
Because, I don't know. Yeah. Well, you know what? On that note, I'm Rob Isra.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that.
thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.